because the main consistent thing that I've noticed amongst everybody, that's what they have: frequency and consistency.
We're live.
Oh, I didn't know we was live already. How
well,
y'all
we
doing?
just got live. What's good, everybody?
What's going on?
You know,
we're just talking that strategy.
We trying to be prompt. We trying to be prompt. What's good?
Trying to work to make things better for y'all, the listeners.
Yeah. Y'all gotta let me know if y'all feeling the music thing. I'm just trying out something.
Yeah. Also, let us know if it's too loud.
Yeah, because honestly, we can't tell. But yeah, we'll give everybody a little bit of time to get on.
For sure. Give y'all a little 5 to 7 minutes.
Right.
Thing your thing. Those of y'all who haven't listened to the latest pod, check that out. We're streaming on all major platforms. All you got to do is look up the Black and the Minute podcast, the same as the YouTube. Get familiar.
Yep. Absolutely.
You should put everything on Do Not Disturb. The phone be magically going off.
It do.
On the stream.
Okay.
Disconnected.
I goofed up. I had the wrong button.
DJ hitting the table.
Matthew's Galaxy 020 over 5.
I hope y'all feeling all right tonight.
Right. Look, don't schedule a program. Look, don't shoot the artist, baby. Hey, what's up, Young Diablo? We got her in the house. Flambeau. What's good?
Trying to get my stuff loaded up here now.
Oh yeah. That's what's good.
Anybody viewing, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like it too.
Yep. Share it around too. Let some folk know something. Let's see.
Let your mama know, let your daddy know, let your grandma know. Everybody.
Yeah, well.
Get with the program.
Right. It's gonna be one of them things.
Oh, yeah, 'cause we talking tonight. Tonight.
It's about to be a trip.
We're not calling this a debate. This ain't gonna be a debate. We're just having a healthy discussion. We will have debates coming soon, right, and more roundtable discussions where we can get more of you guys involved. Oh, yeah. Stay tuned for that. That's where it's really gonna turn up. For the better.
It's gonna be crazy. Let me see. What's that doing? I'm trying to get him kind of that. Oh, she said she need one of them hoodies. You feeling the merch? You feeling the merch? I mean, it's all good. We understand. Merch is dope. We're gonna have to get that going too, so that way everybody gets an access to that. Because it is fresh. Hey, but the beat's not too loud, is it, or anything like that? I hope not. Shoot. I'm just kind of adding stuff as I go. Okay.
Making sure.
Oh, hey. What's up, the Spicy King? Okay, so you're coming from Reddit. That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, I guess since we're actually getting started on it, I don't know if you're able to see the title of the stream. A lot of this we're going to be talking like things about exceptions to the rules
and generalizations.
Yeah, and the difference between that and how they can be applied. You got any opinions on that? Anything you want to share? Actually, do you got anything you want to say at all? We're all ears.
Good evening. Power.
Okay. Carlos Duncan. He said, "Good evening, gentlemen."
Spam.
Oh, okay. What's good? Any fam of his, fam of mine. What's up with you, man? But
yeah, it's talking point. Generalizations and exceptions to the rules and how they apply, particularly in men and women in dating.
Yeah,
dating has really captivated the culture here lately, especially when it comes to men and women, especially in the Black community, because one of the main things that we view as a point of progression for Black people specifically, but not limited to, is the Black family. And what does that start? With men and women.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that a very interesting thing to look at with that. Okay, can you explain what that means? Sorry, since I don't understand. You talking about what he just said?
the exceptions to the rule.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So essentially, the exceptions to the rule is a reference to the varieties of other circumstances that can exist within any given situation. So typically, a lot of things in life are often generalized because generalized points are easier to understand and they represent the majority of people. However, there's always a minority because nothing is in totality. That minority is then also sometimes referred to, at least in conversations, the exceptions or exception to the rule, the outliers, if you will, the minority of situations, people, etc.
Right. Okay, yeah. And really what we're looking at is the concept that a lot of things, yeah. We're glad that you get it. Yeah.
No problem, bro.
And it's just one of the things that a lot of exceptions do get highlighted or over highlighted over things that should be just commonalities or things that should be approached in a general sense or in a percentage wise sense. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that does sometimes make it difficult to talk about because there are a lot of things that we as individuals get bothered by things. Yes, minority prefix meaning minimally, absolutely. And there are some things that we do have to consider as being needed to be applied in the general. And sometimes when we do that, it requires us to have to be very objective whenever we make statements, whenever we make decisions and things of that nature.
Facts.
It's not always something that you necessarily like to do or that you necessarily prefer to do, but it is something that might have to be done. And sometimes that's the difficult part, is really looking at what could potentially be for the greater good. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to say real quick, for those of y'all who are currently on the video, go ahead and share it. We got the link in the comment section in the live chat where you can easily just share it to whoever you need to, whether you got Android, iPhone. Go ahead and share that mother. As many people as you know. We want to get people here in a discussion. We want to get y'all opinions. For the time being, we aren't doing any live calls or videos at the moment. But we will be working on that in the coming weeks.
We just haven't mastered it yet.
Yeah, for now, you know, primarily listener engagement is going to be through the comment section. And of course, we read the comments, so don't worry about that.
Absolutely. We got y'all all locked right now. But yeah,
we're going to get it going here in about 2-3 minutes or so.
Yeah, we'll let some people come in. Before then, if there is anything that y'all want to share or want us to talk about, those that are here, feel free to shoot them out, you know? Let us know.
Yeah, anything you want, any quick thoughts on?
I'm about to say, y'all come first serve. Y'all the first ones.
We probably gonna let's give it a little bit more, like closer to 5-7 minutes.
Okay.
Start at
that's fine.
Yeah, we'll start at 15 past. So give y'all a little bit more time just to get this shared on out.
Oh yeah. I'm just glad it got through to Reddit. I was unsure if that was gonna work.
Cool.
Sometimes
man.
Reddit be playing with people's feelings.
Shout out to the people who follow on Reddit, because Reddit is still slept on. I love me some Reddit. Reddit is like the inside joke in the workplace.
It kind of is.
You know what I mean? Like the few people that know it,
yeah,
they love it, they enjoy it, they laugh, and they know what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just like, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever.
Right. It's kind of weird.
For sure. But we don't want it to become saturated and become like Facebook. But still, I'm with you on that. The spicy king.
Yeah, look, he's right. Reddit needs more love. Sometimes I'll be neglecting Reddit, so I can't even front off that. It's just like, it's an interesting thing because it's good to use for what it is. I think it's like anything else that's in social media. It just has to be applied to the right metric. You got to use it the right way. If you don't, you'll never truly understand the potential of it. And that's really what it is. What's tonight's discussion on? Okay. Carlos asked what tonight's discussion is on.
Sure. Tonight's discussion is referring to exceptions to the rule, how they apply. Specifically, how they apply when we talk about men and women in dating. There's been a lot of talk you know, in society right now about the dynamics of men and women in dating. We hear a lot of people saying, you know, men are trash, dating sucks.
Yeah.
You know, why can't women be this way? So on and so forth. There are a lot of discussions being had about how men and women interact and how we think.
Right.
You know, it's been the talk of the time for centuries now, but particularly in our time period. We want to talk about the generalizations that define the interactions between men and women, and also those exceptions that, in my personal opinion, people lean too much on.
And really, we're just going to kind of debate it because I know there are some things that I agree with that maybe he doesn't agree with, and vice versa. And really, our main goal is to try to find a balanced opinion on what it is. You know what I'm saying? Really just figure out something in the middle, a happy medium, if that's possible.
If that's possible, I think so.
I feel like
with us speaking, I think so.
Yeah.
But you know,
I absolutely think so. I think that it might be difficult to. Hey, thank you. I'm glad that you think this is interesting, Spicy King, man. We appreciate you showing up.
Yes. Y'all wait till the group discussions come, man. We're gonna be having some round tables.
This is why we want these
Men
numbers
and
to
women
swell,
too.
man.
You forgot about y'all?
That. We need that, yes, because we need y'all voices too. Absolutely. We want the ladies in here, not so we can fight against them, because that's not my intent. That's not my intent at all.
We need different viewpoints, though, to have the most well-rounded conversation and about different subjects. So there'll be a bunch of different things we talk about.
Yeah, and there's just some things that you can't approach without having both a male and a female voice involved.
For sure. So this is going to be more so conversational than debatey.
Yeah.
You know, although we will revisit this topic. Full table of folks.
Oh yeah.
Because we got to have these discussions.
Because it ties into a lot of the things that we've already talked about. A lot of things like cognitive dissonance, the concept of validation, the concept of the need for acceptance. You know, a lot of that does hinge very greatly on the interactions between men and women.
For sure.
Because we're social creatures. As much as we may say, oh, I don't like people, I don't frequent people, I don't do this, not do that, I'm an introvert. Yes, introverts are also social beings. We just socialize in a different way, or to a different or varying level, kind of depending on our level of comfortability and a lot of other factors. Because me personally, I'm an introvert. I am an introvert. I can be extroverted, but for the most part, I'm an introvert. If I'm not in my element, I might kind of stay off to the side. Okay, so your name is Armando. Okay. So the Spicy King was the account. Let me just read it verbatim. He said, "You guys can call me Armando if you like. I made this account when I was younger and just never changed the name. It's all good, bro."
I think you can change that part of the account, brother. You just have to go into your settings, because I think at one point, my personal YouTube was actually my name, and I switched that up. I was like, I don't like my name getting out there like that.
Mine used to be Angel Kid 112 or something like that. So I just changed it to my rap name and just made it him, and just made it that because it was more identifiable. So yeah, I think there's a way to do it through like Google. It says, let's see, intelligence is. Carlos Duncan said, "Intelligence is intelligence regardless of gender. We have to avoid separating facts based on emotions and sex."
Woo!
Well, that's heavy.
See? About that. Listen, in about 2 minutes, we're going to get it going.
Okay.
We're going to get it going.
That's a heavy one.
DarksKing got some things to say.
Woo!
Okay? I got some things to say.
This actually is going to kind of tie into the thing that we were talking about in the last live, when we were talking about ideal versus reality in certain situations. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a conversation starter for sure. Look, for those of y'all who are husbands, wives, spouses, or whatever, we don't want y'all starting no fights with each other over this stuff, okay?
Yeah, this ain't that. But if anything, we hope this invokes more thorough discussions. We want people talking about it. The more people talking about it, the more we move the dynamics and the principles of the things that we're talking about forward.
Oh, and he said he'll probably keep his name like that, but he figured it'd be easier for you guys. Hey, man, it's cool. Look, we call you whatever you want to call. What want you to be called? If you want to be called Armando, we got you.
Bruh, if you don't mind, I see the Spicy King right there. It's just easy. I don't know why I think of Burger King when I see it.
Oh man. Okay. She
Don't
said,
worry.
We are here to teach and we are also here to learn.
Better say it.
Good. Look. It's a
Look,
level
I
playing
almost
field.
said so. I had to contain myself. I was like, oh.
It's a level playing field. It's a level playing field. You know. Yeah. Hey, Spicy. He said, ha ha ha. Sure, the Spicy King is cool. Okay, cool, man. Once again, man, we can't thank you enough for coming in, bringing a little bit of light to the discussion, as all people do. You know, the more bodies we got, more fun we're gonna have.
Yes. Well, you know what? I think it's that magical time. Yeah. We don't keep y'all too long. We're going to keep this going for about 45 or so. You know, we know people got things to do. You know, we on a time schedule. As we want to keep it. In the future, we will definitely have more a set schedule times and stuff. So y'all know hours or even a day ahead.
Yeah.
For now, y'all just got to deal with Black people time or CPT, color people time.
Right.
For the rest of the shades.
Look, we learning, man. We learning.
The Spicy King. We are on Facebook. Facebook is where our primary community is.
Yeah.
Up above, there's a link to our podcast. That's our centralized hub where you can find all that information. YouTube, the audio podcast for people who want to listen to the shorter version.
Right.
Usually about 30 minutes or less. You know, for those of y'all who driving and whatnot.
Right. Oh, can you repeat the comment regarding ideals?
We'll probably bring it up in this discussion because I definitely think there's a place where ideals versus reality definitely plays into generalizations and exceptions to the rules for sure. So you can kind of view this vibe as a follow-up from last live.
Yeah. Okay, so
Facebook.com/the Black in a Minute podcast.
Yes.
We will have links in the description as well after the live is up too.
Absolutely. I guess we should just attack the first one.
Let's go, bro. Look,
like I said, we said first come, first serve.
Let's go.
So Carlos Duncan, intelligence is intelligence regardless of gender. We have to avoid separating facts based on emotions and sex. I am half and half with that. And the reason is because on one end, I do wholeheartedly agree that there are certain things in terms of intelligence and in terms of what we have learned and what we do learn and what we're able to achieve that is genderless. There are certain things that, like basic intelligence, is something that's afforded to all genders, all races, all creeds, and all colors, so long as the right factors are set in place. However, when it comes to certain things, it's not necessarily that facts change based on emotions or the facts change based on the sex. It's that the narrative changes. Like something I was presenting to my lady yesterday because she was talking about, we were kind of talking about the Terry Crews thing and how he got did the way he got did. And she was saying, well, you know, if Gabrielle Union and Terry Crews both got sexually assaulted by the same dude and they both decided to go to court, the outcome would probably be different. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't say that. I think they would both probably get a bit of the okie doke. They might get some of what they want in terms of a conviction, but I don't feel like it would be a lasting one because of the way society is. Now, with that being said, the reason for why their arguments or their case will be invalidated will be intrinsically different. That part will be intrinsically different.
How you doing,
what's up, Kiki? But
it's power.
And the reason I say that is, as a man, the argument will always be, if you are victimized, if you are put in a certain situation where you are compromised, it will always be, why weren't you strong enough? Why weren't you able to resist? Why weren't you able to fight back? Why weren't you able to protect yourself? Because in most masculine dominant societies, men are seen as the protectors. Men are seen as the defenders. They're seen as the warriors, the fighters, whatever you want to call them. So as a result, when somebody does that, it's an affront to that concept of your manhood. Now, women what it's going to be is, unfortunately, and I hate to say it because I don't agree with you, is the concept of you must have invited it. You must have done something to incite this, to cause this thing to befall you, for someone to attack you. Now see what I'm saying? It's the same end result that your argument is invalidated, but it's different reasons for why. Because the truth of the matter is, it's always something that is presented as a roadblock because of a generalization. Now that's a case in which a generalization is actually a bad thing because it's carried in the negative, and it's carried in the way that other men will attack a man who is attacked and say that he's weak when they haven't experienced that.
Hold on. Let me interject with two things. One, Carlos Duncan said, we also have to identify that culture plays a role in acceptance of relationship and facts associated with it.
Absolutely.
For sure. There are certain culture dynamics that may not apply to, say, black culture as it may to white culture.
Right.
There is definitely things that we reinforce too as well, right?
Yeah.
Through the stereotypes and generalizations. With that being said, though, right, when we talk about generalizations in the basic sense,
right,
it's to say that a majority, and usually it's not predicated on a stereotype, more so studies, data, like more stuff quantitative than just anecdotal. Oh yeah, I seen that.
Now, in some cases, because this has been done even in research, there are moments where the anecdote is treated like the quantitative research. Case in point is, which is not really related to this, but a case in point is where a lot of black people are believed to be more resilient to pain, when actual qualitative and quantitative research has determined that you have more in common with somebody that is in your immediate sphere of influence, i.e. that you live within the next 50 to 100 miles in. You have more in common with them in terms of your resistances, what you're able to stand, what you're able to withstand, what you're not able to withstand, than you do with somebody who shares your same phenotypical image.
You are products of your environment.
Yes.
Because your environment is part of the collective experiences that you will have.
Yes.
You know, somebody that's from like Southern Indiana, for example, might have a different life experience than somebody who's from the South Side of Chicago.
Right.
It's a difference.
Yeah.
And, you know, while things tend to happen to people all the time that they can relate to because they're similar things, the degrees to which are not always the same.
No.
There are certain dynamics that you can only experience in certain locations.
Yeah.
Not just because of the people there, but literally the environment itself.
Absolutely.
You know, all things considered, hell, even weather plays into weather, and transportation plays into that as well. Cause and effect exist, but outcomes are decisions of the individuals. Yes, a lot of things in reality are a matter of choice.
Yes.
Not everything, but a very lot. And I think even when you look at it from that view lens, I think that's part of the mechanism that is the difference between the generalization versus the exception to the rule, right?
Right.
Because there are a lot of things that we are in control of.
Yes.
You know,
sometimes it's
sex being one of those things.
Yes. Sometimes it does vary to what degree you're in control.
Sure.
That is something that should be considered.
Is it the degree that we're in control, or is it the outcome of the situation?
The degree that we're in control of the
because
outcome.
two people can come to the same place, right?
Yeah.
And got there two totally different ways based off the choices they made, right?
Exactly.
And you know, when I talk about exceptions to the rule, my biggest fit that I have is that I just feel like sometimes we get caught up in the exception to the rule to almost to identify as the exception to the rule. Y'all ever have a discussion with somebody and it goes kind of like this?
That's because nobody wants to be that guy.
Right, but with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a degree of separation from reality that comes from that. And
right.
I say that because very seldom are you literally and consistently the exception to the rule.
True.
More oftentimes than not, due to herd mentality, due to groupthink, you know, due to so many other metrics, what's popular, so on and so forth, you become that majority. It's very easy to be in the majority.
Absolutely.
It's very hard to be the minority of things. It's very hard to actually be the exception.
Yeah.
So hard.
Unless the exception is actually very clearly and very exacting in its definition.
Sure. But it most often isn't. Yeah. But, right? Mm-hmm. With most things in life, almost everything, there is an established baseline that helps reinforces the generalization.
I can agree.
Like, there's a reason why, you know, there's scales and spectrums to things, right?
Right.
It's because, one, we identify primarily with numbers and symbols.
Agreed.
So we measure things, and most things that we interact with, whether that be people, whether that be objects, is based off of a degree of some sort of number.
Yeah.
You know,
a percentage.
Starting with time and space, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, hopefully we ain't getting too airy for y'all. But, you know, I say that to say our most basic form of currency when it comes to measurement is time.
Yeah.
Because it exists regardless, but the number side of it is something that's man-made.
Okay.
He's right.
Oh, he actually is explaining it. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. The dude was
so with that, right? Mm-hmm. We measure things, and that's where the quantitative part of our perception comes from.
Right.
I'd also argue that it's part of where the logic comes from too.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's what we actually experience.
Yeah.
You know, what we actually experience. That's more of the qualitative. That's what we see. And so because of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people, when you go to having discussions about things and terms get generalized, the first thing that people say is, everybody's not like that. You can't just generalize everybody.
Right.
No. You're missing the point. The generalization in itself is not even talking about everybody.
Right.
It's talking about most people. So now the question goes, well, the exception to the rule. What about everybody else? Well, here's the thing about everybody else. It's not enough of them. And that's why they fall to the wayside, because they're the minority. Just like in any other metric that you see with a majority and a minority representation,
right?
What is the main thing that's pushed? What is the main thing that is visible to you?
Right.
It's the majority. It's always been like that, and it's always gonna be.
Right.
And then whenever the minority is referenced, it's almost like, well, here's everything else.
Well,
here's everybody else.
In a grander scheme, yes, it's similar to the mathematical process of positive and negative.
Sure.
That, and also the concept of percentages. In most cases, if you strip all emotions, all moral attachment to the majority and minority, the minority, or in this case, the exception, is considered an afterthought, or it's considered what we call an extraneous variable. It's the variable that you don't want to account for because it makes your measures imperfect, but it's something you have to account for because it exists and it can potentially damage your measurements. And yes, so the higher number sign is the dominant.
And so here we are, all right? Because some of y'all are like, all right, get to the point. What are we here to talk about?
Right.
We're here to talk about some of the dynamics in dating in men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, for those of y'all who've been living under the rock and not paying attention, there has been huge conversations going on. And we ain't here to debate. Although we have slightly different viewpoints, we are not here to debate.
No.
We're here to have a conversation with y'all, being part of that conversation through chat.
Absolutely.
We will have video guests, and we will be bringing that in. We'll also have roundtable discussions.
Yes.
So, with the exception to the rule concept versus the generalization, we're talking about male and female dynamics when it comes to men and women, how we feel, how we think and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my preceding argument is that I think men and women are different.
Yeah.
Okay? And for that reason, I don't think that they can ever be equal. At least in what I'm seeing has been pushed as the prevailing narrative of us all being the same, and so we should be treated the same. Right. I think everybody should be treated with respect.
Yeah.
But I feel as though that is not exactly what's being asked for by the prevailing voices in the culture. And by those prevailing voices, one of those voices that I'm speaking about particularly is what I would refer to as this latest generation or wave of what is known as feminism.
Right.
I'm all for women having respect and having their rights respected.
Right.
Though, what I'll also say is we live in a day and age where that we have only allowed one microphone at the podium, and it's women. And there's this misconception almost, mainly from the exceptions to the rule, the extremist of people, because there's men and women who are doing this, that basically comes with an opinion of women are disenfranchised, women are being disrespected, women's rights aren't being respected, all of these things against the woman,
right,
without their highlighting that men don't have everything.
No.
And this matters when it comes to dating because it ties into what is called toxic masculinity.
Oh.
YouTube, we saying all the words tonight too.
One aspect.
So luckily we're not making money off this right now.
Yeah,
so we won't be canceled or demonetized.
What I will say is one issue that I do have, and it's something that I think we should approach, and it's something that's not talked about, is that we have to understand the definition of the things that we are utilizing, the terms that we are utilizing, before we readily just start throwing it around like a sledgehammer.
Break it down.
The simple fact is, there are a lot of people that don't understand what toxicity is. And I've realized that. They don't understand what emotional toxicity is, or really what toxicity is in general. And it ends up being used as a blanket word. And through every generation, I think there is always, in every era, there is always a blanket word. You know what I'm saying?
That helps placate the generalization.
Yeah, it helps placate the generalization.
Go ahead, talk to them.
That also helps to, like I said, pigeonhole a minority, because it becomes a starkly defined thing when you don't have a definition.
This guy. Talk to him.
Because legitimately, we can say that about the word thug.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example. No one really knows what a thug is anymore.
Or ghetto.
There's never been a solid definition of the word thug. It's been evolved, it's been updated, it's been expanded, it's been redefined, it's been remixed more times than we have years in life.
What's up, Castro?
Hey, what's good, bro? Look, but it's been considered something that is a stark definition, and that is something that can pigeonhole you. And it's hard to get out of a pigeonhole if they keep changing the barriers.
Castro just got in. Sir, real quick, let me give you a quick one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Basically, we are talking about exceptions to the rule when it comes to generalizations in interaction between male and females.
Yeah.
Primarily dating, but really just male to female interaction.
Right. You just kind of caught me on a tangent.
Hit the mic, but it did. That's how y'all know I'm up. I'm up tonight.
But yeah, I will say this. Because I have been in spaces where my voice as a man has felt stifled. Because one perfect case in point. Yes, toxicity, extremely harsh, malicious, or harmful quality. Yes, sir, you bring them definitions up. Thank you, Carlos. You saved me a lot of searching.
Normally we had a Webster's.
I'll be on it. This is your fans. Yeah, right, hey. I can tell y'all related. But for real, I was actually in a situation where me and a friend of mine attended a seminar that was held by the Black Student Union at the school I was going to. And they were talking about different issues, discrepancies, and variation of styles, and lots of things involving black hair, right? Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing is, when it was on the women's side, granted, it was something that was organized primarily by women. When it was on the women's side, a lot of different styles were referenced and brought up. Now I know we can never truly quantify how many different styles black people have in terms of our hair, because this is one of them. We just that creative, okay? But I noticed there was a myriad of them. There was at least 7. For men, it was about 4. and they were very generalized. And along with that, some points were brought up like, oh, well, girl, yeah, you shouldn't have to have this type of hairstyle. You shouldn't have to do this type of hairstyle. I don't care if they think it isn't politically correct. You should do that. But when it came to the subject of the men, because back then I used to rock the fro all the time. I still do occasionally, but the protective styles are becoming a must because I'm getting older. I'm learning to do. Look, exactly. You switch it up on the daily, keep it on your toe. Look, there'll be folk at work to be like, you look different every time you show up. That's just me, bro. But anyway, back to my point. And actually, Kiki, you know about this because I think me and the other Nick told you about this. You and Kiera. I brought up that I'm like, okay, well, what about the fro? It's like we don't really feel like dudes need to have a fro or things like that. I'm like, why is that so different? It's like, because it's not a professional hairstyle. It's not really a hairstyle. I'm like, no. I'm like, not every dude wants to be pigeonholed into either having a fade, having a high top, or having dreads.
I mean,
and then I think there was one other one. I think it was one about braids, but I'm like, you do not. I'm like, you
look how long
you show. Look,
dreads to come back around.
Yes, and I mean, even beyond that, me personally, I'm about to be 28 years old. I've had my hair long since I was 15, 16. That's when I really started growing it out. Most of those styles that they described, other than a straight up ball fade, were not things that were in my vocabulary before I hit the age of 15. So when I grew my hair out, the styles that I had weren't even on that list.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Listen, throughout high school,
yeah.
Any of y'all that actually knew me or seen me in high school, I went through a few different hairstyles.
Right.
I had the mohawk with the designs on the side. I had the half and half haircut.
Right.
I went through quite a few but designs back then.
But bringing it back to the point of our discussion, does that mean that I'm now considered an exception?
Chat.
and technically, I can say I was in that situation because there were a lot more who fell into that trope, especially in that room.
Okay.
However, now that we know, now that it's out more, now that, you know, in the 20 teens, up into the 2020s, now you have men who are coming out and giving tutorials about how to do your hair, men coming out telling you how to take care of your stuff and how to get yourself right and blah, blah, blah. And it's becoming more of a commonality. Now you're seeing a lot of the different styles.
YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube has allowed there to be a space that didn't exist before.
Oh, yeah. You know how much stuff I learned off of YouTube, get myself right?
Yeah, especially when it comes to young creators, Black creators, and specifically Black men.
Absolutely.
And because of that, when we're talking about this conversation that we had, one of the largest generalizations, at least between men and women, is how we actually think the other one thinks. And I've noticed that, like, just trying to see it from both sides, I've come to the conclusion that we're arguing about what we think the other person won't need.
Yes.
Most of the time.
Yes.
You know,
and you're right. There's a market for it. You are absolutely right, Castro. There's a market for it now.
There's definitely a market for it, but it's also a demand, right?
Yeah.
Not just a market fact, but it's a demand.
It's monetizable now.
And it's needed.
Yes.
It's needed for the sake of what matters the most. And if we're looking at this from a cultural standpoint, in terms of Black culture, you ain't solving a problem unless you deal with two things. And this is my opinion straight up here. Yourself and your interaction with whoever you plan to be with.
You're right.
And that's why this matters the most. That is the market, right? Yeah. There's a demand because we want to strengthen the Black family, at least when we talk about Black culture. But how can we do that when there's problems amongst each other? Because
the truth of the matter is, as are above, as shall be below. And I always quote that Bible verse wrong. But as it is above, as it shall be below. What that really means, or what I like to say is, whatever the macro shows, the micro has to show. Which means that, and let me break that down even further, just because I'm an analogy person.
I think not on too.
Okay,
she's probably gonna appreciate that.
Yeah, look, I'm an analogy person. But what I mean by that is, if we want the black community to build, if we want a black nation to build, then the black family has to start. That's the source. And what is being taught? What is being taught in your homes? What is being seen by black children? What is being witnessed? What is how these experiences are shaping our next generation? Because if these kids get screwed up, our generation is we're done.
And instead of arguing about whose fault that is, which is one of the prevailing conversations we gotta have.
Oh, absolutely.
It's both.
Look, it's
both.
Because here's the thing: it's the Adam and Eve argument. That's what I call it. It's the Adam and Eve argument. Where folks is like, well, Eve is the one that lied to Adam and made him bite the apple. Yeah, but Adam was the one who bit it. It's like, but here's the thing. Guess what happened? Here's what you notice. And I'm gonna do a little Bible. Don't get crazy. I'm not gonna get crazy on y'all. But when it says man and woman come together and will become one flesh, what does that mean? That means that man and women, when they come together, you exist as a unit, which means nothing. And how does a unit move? If you're in a unit doesn't move just because you move. A unit moves when all parts of the unit move.
One is left foot, the other one's right foot.
Exactly. Because what you notice for those that read, for those that did pay attention in their Sunday school classes when they was kids, nothing happened. A lot of people, and I feel like this is misogynistic, try to say, well, nothing happened until Adam ate it. So it was on Adam, because the man had to. No, nothing happened until they both did it. Nothing happened until they both committed to going in opposition to what the rules was. God didn't instruct Eve, he instructed Adam, but the simple, and that's the reason why the enemy attacked Eve. But the simple fact is, when you are one flesh, when you are one organism, everything applies to the whole. That's why nothing changed until it applied to the whole. It has to be that way.
Yeah, and that's why I'm just like,
because I personally feel like nothing would have happened if Adam would have been like, nah, dog, I ain't with it. Nothing would have happened.
I feel like part of living in reality, right? When it comes to what we do with the generalizations,
right,
and the exceptions to the rule is, at least on a grander, more tangible scale that everybody can relate to.
Right.
Everybody says life is unfair. Has anybody ever pondered why life is unfair? Like, have y'all ever really thought about it? I got a very simple answer. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's came to this.
Okay.
Life is not fair because life isn't fair to whom?
Right.
It becomes a question of whom.
Right.
And then, well, if we think about it, it's the people who are existing. It's
and
the creatures.
Right.
Correction.
Okay.
The creatures that are existing. So that includes animals too.
Yes.
So if we're cognizant, we're aware enough to know.
Appreciated the soundtrack. I knew you was gonna catch that.
Yes, Ultra Instinct. That's where I'm going right now. If we're cognizant enough to realize that we live in a dynamic world where life isn't fair, we've probably also accepted that a part of reality is that life isn't fair for anybody. I would hope that's where we came to, because it truly isn't. But there's different things. There's different things that affect different groups, different races, different people, different organisms.
Yes.
I don't hear the pig complaining about how life isn't fair, why it's getting cooked up and cut for bacon. All it can do is oink or whatever the hell they do. So, but I say that to say this. There's checks and balances to life.
Absolutely.
Do I think that everything is fair and just as it is? No. I think we can always make work. But I think I'm also aware enough, and I would hope that more people are aware enough to realize that a lot of the dynamics that we're dealing with here in society are based off of differences.
Absolutely. They scream and they cry, my man.
Man, reference to some work real quick. One of my most polarizing, neutral poems. I say polarizing because I couldn't figure out if people were mad, people were happy, or they just didn't give a damn. I got a poem called The Lucifer Theory.
Oh, yeah.
For those of y'all in the Southern Indiana area, I will be at Boca along with this man across from me.
Woohoo!
And we're going to lay down some words of power on the 18th. Okay? Boca Lounge, 1007 Parish Street.
You might get some teasers based on what you hear in the beginning of the pod.
You might. But I say that to say I had a poem called The Lucifer Theory, where I literally questioned the fact that, and this poem is like 6 years old. I've been on this. Question the fact that we are not only divided by these different vices and differences amongst each other, but they are what make us who we are.
Yes.
So what are we really arguing about? And I feel like sometimes conversations get bogged down by either people being the most privileged or people being the most disadvantaged.
Yes.
Okay? And there's still a scale of, y'all see this movement right here? I'm gonna have memes and emotes for y'all. They come. This is part of the same dynamic of the argument.
Right.
The generalization versus the exception.
Yes.
And then it becomes basically semantics.
And okay, Carlos Duncan said life is fair. People just make decisions off free will. Absolutely. And in some cases, that free will and the decisions that they make are based entirely on their situation, how that situation affects them intrinsically, and the set of decisions that are laid out before them to utilize. You know what I mean? Society is absolutely unfair. That is true. Society is unfair, and society is unfair because there is always a conflict of interest involved.
Woo! Share this, y'all. Share this.
A lot of things. I had a lot of people try to get mad at me when they said back when Trump and Hillary was going at it, and they was like, "Okay, who you gonna vote for, Trump or Hillary?" And I said neither. And they looked at me like I was crazy. And these was black folk. They looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, because neither one of them do anything to serve our agenda. Hey. And along with that, this was the kicker. This is the one that turned heads. I said it doesn't matter who sits in that seat, as long as we make it in their interest to do what we want. They will, because it's been seen.
You got to hold them to the fire. You pay your politicians.
You got to keep the foot on the neck.
The people who get funded the most, those communities that fund them are usually the ones that get the stuff done. So that's part of it.
Absolutely.
We ain't even gonna get too political in that regard.
Nope,
even though what we're talking about right now is political. Make no mistake about it. There's politics at play with a lot of things.
Right. Now, with the dichotomy of men and women, one thing I would like to address, is that there is a degree of entitlement among certain men. Okay. I'm not gonna say all men. I'm gonna say certain men. Some of this is partially due to societal standards, which do dictate that as a man, if you do thus and so, and this is almost an archaic concept because we're not even seeing this. If you do thus and so, if you work, if you pay the bills, blah blah blah, you're entitled to whatever that woman got, right? And that's a concept that is brought up often. The problem is that while that is kind of a standard, and it's still not exactly accurate because that woman is entitled to give you whatever is part of her. Yes, Maslow's concept.
Yes, hierarchy.
Yes,
the dynamic of hierarchy.
Yes,
exactly.
Now that's become further corrupted with the current generation and a lot of members of our generation, where the men feel like, and I'm not trying to make it explicit, all they gotta provide is sexual favors. And the hierarchy of needs. The hierarchy of needs has gone so low that some of these people, and I hate to say, some women think that all they need is consistent dick. And then that is the only, and once that need is fulfilled, all of a sudden, everything else should be good. Or literally just him existing. Fire. And I ain't never understood that because I wasn't raised like that. Okay. But the simple fact is, that is terrible. Look, that is terrible because of the simple fact that one thing I told somebody, I said, look, you got to see that a lot of women are very enterprising now. A lot of women are very goal and job focused now. And as a result of that, they're not just going to accept that okie doke. They're not just going to accept that you have to bring something to the table that is substantial.
Let me challenge that though.
Okay.
Because
go ahead.
Women have always had the standards that they've had.
Yes.
Women have always had a higher set of standards to engage properly with them. Yes. Those that don't, they have a term for that, and they are the exception to the rule.
Right.
So it's always
some of that is due to nurturing.
And we live in a dynamic. We do still live in a dynamic.
Yeah.
Where women have their set of requirements.
Yeah.
and then men have their set of requirements.
Sometimes.
Now, with that though, but wait a minute. Now,
Hey, okay.
because it goes both ways now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Let's keep a spade a spade, because see, we have to also be mindful of this too,
Okay.
right? Because this is my thing.
All
Okay. The thing is that in some regards, when you talk about those men, some of those same women want a certain type of man. Most
Absolutely.
women probably want a certain type of man that probably has something to do with, I don't know too many women that want a man that's at their level or below. I don't know too many women that want bums, so to speak.
Right.
I'm using that in air quotes.
Right.
Most women want a man that's about something,
Yes.
that is doing something with himself. Right?
Right.
Most women want men at their level or higher.
Right.
Part of the reason why we see women typically dating older men
Yes.
is part of the reason why we see that dynamic play out.
And unfortunately, in a sick way, it kind of contributes to there being a lot of very childish older men, or what I would like to call grown children.
That's part of it, but also I would argue that also the households being
Yes.
split up also plays into it,
Oh,
which is
absolutely.
a male and female problem.
Yes.
It
And
ain't
it's
just enough to carry
Yes.
your kid.
And here's the thing. It is the feminist movement is not focused on sex. No, and I don't think it is. Certain aspects of it are, but certain aspects of it aren't. The only issue that I truly have with the feminist movement, as it concerns us as Black people and especially Black women, is that in all truth, a lot of the feminist movement that started out is really the white feminist movement. Because the things that, and there's nothing, and I've said this before, there is nothing wrong with ascribing to a group that actually looks for your interests. However, it's when you're trying to ascribe yourself to a group that does not look out for your interests. And by that, I mean the interests of the Black woman in the 70s versus the white woman in the 70s were intrinsically different. Because Black women didn't have the same issues with their men. Notice what I say, with their men that white women did.
Still don't, but you know, and that's another conversation.
And that divergence is starting to come back. It's starting to converge because of the fact that we're trying to adapt the same standards as the other side, and we don't need it.
No, we don't. But also,
we were right. Look, let me finish this part.
Go ahead.
We were at, because what you notice is we were at our strongest when we all realized we were in the same boat, no matter what.
And that wasn't that long ago.
No. That's where we were. That's where we were at. And it's true. Yes, it is about control. And the control aspect is because they were not in the same boat. They were never actually in the same boat. You know, let's see. Okay, old girl said, as Kara said, as my mind said, at the end of the day, I own the table that I'm allowing someone to bring something to. There you go.
Question to
Okay.
Question to that.
Okay.
Are you the table though? That's what I want to know. Are you the table? Or do you bring something to your table? Because I feel that there's a difference. I just want to see where your mind is at on that. While you think about that and answer that, this is what I want to say though.
Okay.
Right? Because nobody's really on a massive scale talking about the extremist feminists.
Yeah.
Because there's this viewpoint, this prevailing viewpoint that's going around that suggests that men are just privileged, period, and women are not.
Yeah.
And I ain't with that. There are privileges that to being a woman in society. There are different dynamics that y'all deal with and benefit from that men don't.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
If that's not the conversation you're having, you really need to take a look at yourself and think in the mirror. Think about all the situations and times in which you benefited from something simply because you're a woman and not a man. If you're honest, you can think of quite a few.
She said, I own it while I'm setting out the good dishes. Okay.
I like that. Thank you.
Hey,
I love that.
Okay.
Because we also live in a day and age that because of the loud mouth.
Oh, yeah. For real. Feel free to roll up, bro. We'll hit you with the Addy.
Because of the loud mouth, generalized toxic man.
Yeah.
Not toxic masculinity.
Because
I only like that word.
And
masculine exists in women too.
Yeah.
And nobody calls it toxic when it's women acting that way. So
Right.
we're not going to do that. But what I mean is that there's these dynamics, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about these things, it's important that we highlight that there are both advantages and disadvantages to being both.
Yes.
If you never really heard a male speak or ever really gave him the space to speak without being dismissive or saying, I have it worse, then you don't know that conversation as much as you think you do. And one could argue that about me on the opposite side, right?
Right.
So then why isn't that more so the conversation? And it's
where
not
we,
a debate.
where we find a commonality in
Right.
the middle ground.
Instead of keeping up with the Joneses. What does that say?
Okay, how does interracial relationships work into your statement? That one is an interesting one.
You got something for that? I got something.
I have something, but I will admit that my understanding in that is limited because I've never truly been in a interracial relationship.
I don't, you know what? I don't even know that you necessarily have to be in one.
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is where I'm coming from is going to be purely perception.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be that's going to be what I preface that with, because I don't want anybody thinking I'm being an expert or speaking from an expert perspective.
Well, wait a minute though. All right, because I got a perception.
Okay.
And that's purely perception.
Yeah.
See, not experience, because I don't have experience.
Right.
Per se. I've dated biracial women.
Right.
That's the closest I've came to about that, right?
And I ain't gonna front. To some degree, I count that, but don't count that.
But you still may deal with those dynamics.
Yes.
And I have.
Yes. Okay.
I have.
Okay.
So I can at least say to a degree that, you know, where I'm at is the way I view things when it comes to what I define as a black woman is any woman that is aware of her black culture.
Yes.
And acknowledges the fact that she has black DNA in her parents, somebody's black.
Yep.
In that pool.
And unfortunately, you got some fully black women that don't do that. And some fully black men that don't do that.
Sure. And I say that to say this though, right? Personally, I'm not interested in interracial dating in the general sense.
Right.
Of a black man and a full-on black woman. I'm not. More so than anything, because I want to preserve my heritage.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because, you know, it's often looked at something negative when we do choose to say something of that regard.
Right.
As opposed to when others say that same thing.
Now, the interesting thing with me, really the issue that I've always had with it, and this is just me personally, I don't judge anybody who does it, you know what I mean? Okay, here's one. Married to a white man and I get told that I'm not allowed to have a say on any issues of the black community.
And that's by the extremists, right?
Yes.
The exceptions of the rule. Because that's what we have to remember, right? When it comes to extremists, they usually have the microphone.
Right.
Because when you say something disrespectful, it's easy for that to go more viral. That grabs more people's attention because it's offensive.
Right.
Right? It invokes emotion.
Right.
That's the thing about it.
And Carlos brought up something late. He said the table is symbolic for the medium where both people place their worth on it. There you go. That's cold.
Right. Which
I will say this. I will say this to you, Kara. Your opinion as a woman who is in an interracial relationship is valid. And it is valid because it exists as what we would consider an extraneous variable, or what a lot of extremists would really want to consider an extraneous
talking point.
Yes, it is important as a talking point because those experiences do need to be noted. Because like I said, there are some of us who have never had that. And for me personally, one of the main things that blocked me from doing it, one, I just was never really interested. But when I really thought about it and I got older, I'm like, there's a lot of conversations. Yeah, there's a lot of conversations that you feel like you can't have. Yes, exactly what you said. YD. Being in an interracial relationship, I've learned that sometimes, not always, I was always forced to be limited to things or opinions as a half black woman. And that's kind of the thing. To me, I feel like if you're in a relationship, I don't want to feel limited in the scope of what I can say and what I can talk about in my own house. If I see something that affects my people and I have an opinion on it, I shouldn't feel like, yo, this is gonna be weird saying this around you.
You know what though? I would also say though, some of that is, I think some of it does come from a preconceived feeling of actual ignorance, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing is that, you know, typically people don't too much talk about things that they just clearly don't have an idea of.
Right.
Right. So some of that may be definitely forced upon the person.
Right.
And some of it is just you. And sometimes you're in situations, and hopefully you're in healthy relationships where you're allowed to say those things, or at least someone will hear that point.
Right. Those discussions are able to be had. You know. Yeah, i.e., she said, i.e., I can never bring up BLM movement without being told negative things instead of being able to teach someone something about a culture that I'm in. And yes, that also brings up another point is, are you willing to be a teacher? Because by default in a relationship, you're going to teach your spouse or your significant other something, whether it's about yourself, whether it's about the environment you come from, whether it's about what you're experiencing. I mean, look, I come from an environment that is mostly suburban. I've dealt with women that come from environments that are mostly hood or urban. You have to learn things about that.
Yes, you do.
You're gonna learn something about that.
Me, I'm the opposite, right? I come, my upbringing is hood, but
Right.
over time that has changed. I grew up where I grew up at.
Right.
But I've met women from, I've dated women from the country. I've dated women from other metropolitan big city areas too as well. A little bit of everything, and there's certain dynamics that come into not just the conversation, but the culture of how the people behave, right?
Right.
Like, for example, I knew when George Floyd and all those things was happening that back in Chicago, they was gonna act up.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's one thing. There's a community-ness in bigger places where the people ride for each other like that.
Right.
They see each other like that. Some random small town in Iowa might not be a big protest if some black guy gets shot. It's not just demographics. Demographics does play a role, but it be like that also, right? Whereas in Des Moines, they might rock out more.
Right.
Iowa's more quiet in general, but I'm just saying.
Right. There's a difference there. I get what you're saying. I don't think I will be able to function. Kira says, I don't think I would be able to function having to tiptoe around someone you both know too well. It should always be an open space for discussion. Absolutely. I feel the same about that, because that's just not something that I personally gel with. I'm not about to sit here and fight you over something stupid.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely
not gonna fight you about something that I'm passionate about.
Listen, even if I'm passionate about it, there's a point where I'm just like, you know what,
I'm off it.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm like, okay.
But
not because I feel defeated or anything, but I'm just like, okay, I can sense where
this is gonna become more problematic.
This is gonna be more emotional than calm, collected, logical. Because even when you're passionate, right?
Right.
There's a difference between being passionate and being mad.
Right.
I could be passionate and you tell me to calm down or lower my voice, and I'll lower my voice.
Right.
But if I'm pissed off and you tell me, yo, you need to calm down, man, shut the. And that's where those conversations go, right?
Yeah, exactly. My main concept, especially as I've come to learn more about myself and my position as a black man in America, is that that's just a standard that I cannot bend on. And this has always been my concept as a man. As a man, I feel like there are certain rules that we must follow and never bend on. And I've always felt like that's what makes us graduate into men, is that we have those standards that we don't bend on. It doesn't matter how small it is, doesn't matter how big it is. Like case in point for me, something small, well, some people would consider small. I had a girl once time joke around and be like, I could probably get you to cut your hair. And I'm like, no, you couldn't. I don't care how cute you are. I don't care how attractive you are.
Right.
You could be
and I'm glad you
bad, and I'm not doing that.
And that's exactly what you were supposed to do.
And on the flip side, we can have bomb conversation. You can like the same things that I like. We can nerd out on all kinds of stuff. And I'm still not going to do it.
And there ain't nothing toxic about that.
No.
There's nothing disrespectful
it's a standard
about that. And that matters though too, right? Because we can definitely, it's amazing how you can have a broad topic that has so many intricacies, such as standards and values.
Yes.
I'm going to tell y'all something. And I've been learning this for as long as I've been alive, but also I've been hyper-focused on these kind of things since I've been single. And that is that I think it would help both men and women. If you cannot do it in conversation, that's cool as ever. Read, learn, study, learn you some stuff, look for it.
Yeah.
Really dig deep to try and understand the opposite sex. Do not, I repeat, do not think you got it all figured out.
No.
Because the one thing that I've really, really understood is that men and women are different. And they think differently about things. And some of y'all may be listening to this and thinking, we all know that. Clearly we don't. Because we're still arguing about the fact that we have different perspectives on things. In large. That's where the generalization comes from. Hey, I hope y'all like my
complex. Exactly.
It is. But on the basic level is when you understand that, you can start to look at things differently. Because I feel like when men and women are having these conversations, a lot of times we try to assimilate with each other, like, oh yeah, you should definitely think like this because I think like this. This makes no sense to me.
Well, it's because it's automatic. No, it's automatic to view things from your perspective because it's coming from your eyes.
Yeah, so it makes the most sense to you
until you have that hindsight and you can go back and be like, dang, I was tripping. But here's the thing. One thing I've always tried to do and always prioritize is asking things from a female perspective. There are a lot of situations where I've dealt with a significant other and I've talked to another woman and be like, yo, here's the situation, here's the scenario. Am I tripping? You know what I mean? Because maybe I don't see it. Maybe I don't see it.
Man, and
because I've been in situations and it's not always like this, but with dudes, sometimes you'll talk to a dude and say, okay, man, this is the situation, blah, blah, blah. Before you get through the situation, you're like, man, forget her, man. You ain't tripping.
Hold on.
Speak your speech.
It's like, you talking about hey, hold up, right? Because what you did right there, you're talking about a specific dude.
Yes.
And he is the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
And this is why it matters who you keep around you. Because the right type of man or woman is going to approach things from a more broad and burst perspective that isn't too extreme in either direction. You know when you're dealing with the extremities of people now, whether it's a male or a female, when you hear something that just sounds like something completely crazy, but not even just crazy, something that sounds dangerous. I need y'all to dangerous more than crazy.
Like,
because sometimes
or at the
new,
very least concerning.
Yeah, because sometimes something new can sound dangerous, right?
Right. But something concerning, something that's an eyebrow raiser.
Yeah, like something that like make you cringe, deep cringe. I ain't talking about that's embarrassing or that's ill.
No, it's
like,
like,
oh my God, like, is you about to shoot me? Like,
hold on.
That type of stuff.
Bag it up.
Because those people do exist and they ain't to be friended. Because I got plenty of brothers around me, that's gonna straighten me out.
Exactly.
If I'm wrong, you being one of those people, right?
Yeah.
And just
and vice versa.
Because that's important.
Right.
The company that you keep also plays into the product of your environment.
Association breeds similarity.
Facts.
Association breeds similarity. I actually heard somebody say this. It's like, look, it don't matter how much money you got. If you stay around a bunch of broke people, one of these days, you're going to end up broke.
I think Zig Ziglar said, you are the average of the 5 people that you keep the closest around you.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Birds of a feather
flock together.
Y'all know it, Black household.
Yee.
Birds of a feather
flock together. Look, you got to be careful about them folks. Look, I had a grandmother that was always doing the back glare at everybody I brought into the house. You know that.
How long y'all been friends?
Yes.
Who that mom?
Yep. Oh no. My granddaddy be in the back. Look now, if you black and you coming to my folks' house, they gonna be looking, going like, I bet I know some of your people. What's your last name? I'm like, bro,
you related to?
You don't know everybody,
right? Right, but
that comes from the environment of of growing up in Hopkinsville, where it was a self-contained black community, and everybody did know everybody.
So we say all that to say, because we want to take a little moment to hear some things and probably answer some questions from y'all if you got them before we close the stream out. I want to say, we say all of that to say, as you can see, this was a discussion. All right, there's a debate coming.
We ain't even talk about.
We ain't even got there. Some of y'all know we ain't even got there yet.
We ain't even talk about a specific person
or persons.
And we ain't even.
There's some people we need to talk about too, though.
Yeah, I don't even know how to approach that just yet.
This is the version of the conversation when we want to have some real progress that we definitely need to have, and that's the conversation. That's the middle ground. Yeah, because we never want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's why we can't we can't say the generalization is it.
Right.
But also,
the generalization cannot be left out of the consideration.
And we also cannot over-exaggerate the majority of situations,
right,
to be more than what they actually are. Remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to be the exception of the rule. Are they?
Right.
Are they?
And sometimes in my own experience, believing that you are the exception to the rule is sometimes one of the most problematic things you can do.
Thank you.
Because it will cause you to lower your antennas. Your antennas will not be on, as in you will not be paying attention to what is actively going on within you and outside of your reach.
Arrogance can breed from that too.
Yes.
We're going to eventually have a series where we talk more in depth about ego, because a lot of people use the term ego wrong. Yes. Ego is a broad term.
What a lot of people,
there's a positive and negative to ego.
What a lot of people refer to, I'll just get this out the way because it does annoy me.
It's on his head.
There's three things. And this is Freudian psychology, and I know some people don't like Freud, but here's the truth. Here's the truth. What you have is the superego, the ego, and the id. The id is what you're born with. That is your desires, that is your wants, that is the things that you just intrinsically want unquestionably. It's unchecked, there's no restraint. So it's literally your I want. The superego is your standards. The superego is your I should, right? So that's what your mama taught you. That's what your daddy taught you, your granny, your grandpa, and the standards that you learn in school, the standards that you learn at work, the standards that you learn everywhere else that tell you what you should be in society. That's your I should. The ego is the end results of those two converging and what you finally decide to do. That is the I do.
Another way to look at it too, also, you guys. If that went over your heads, I hope it didn't, because I think he explained it very well. If that went over your heads, let me tell y'all something. There's modesty and there's arrogance. They both come from ego. There's a difference between the both of them.
Yes.
If you know, you know. If you don't, please look up those words.
And more specifically, there's modesty, there's arrogance, and they come together to form the ego. Whichever one you choose to allow to supersede is going to define what the ego is.
And you will be generalized based off of that.
Absolutely.
Because every arrogant person got some modesty in them, and every modest person got some arrogance in them.
And you know what? No, this is the perfect case for me to bring up a person of interest. That's the reason why Kevin Samuels will talk all that cash on his channel, but he will be very orderly on someone else's. There are arrogant people who can exercise modesty, even if it's not that they don't possess it, it's that they choose not to exercise it. True. We need a clue bomb right there.
Right, pipe bomb. I'm gonna get my soundboard together, y'all. I got it in the works. It's almost done. It's almost done. It's almost done. Kevin Samuels.
Oh Jesus! I dropped the elephant in the room. I probably shouldn't.
Man, he said a lot. He said a little and a lot right there.
I mean, it's true.
I was gonna say Umar Johnson, but you know what?
He fits into that too.
Right. And also, in saying that, y'all, the next time we have this discussion, we're gonna have to get some women on board.
Oh, what's up, Keontae? Yes, you are late. But
you're late to the party,
I'm sorry,
bro. Nero just dropped the bomb. He name dropped Kevin Samuels.
You gonna see it.
So Kevin Samuels gonna come for him.
I used him as a definition. Look,
he used him as a definition.
Look, he ain't gonna come for me because he said he don't beef with nobody.
Listen, he
said he don't beef with nobody.
I can't say I have a different take on Kevin Samuels than he does.
I can stomach him when he's on somebody else's channel. I ain't gonna deal with him being incendiary.
I think some of it's necessary, bro.
Some of it is necessary. It's necessary when it's warranted. I will say that. If somebody waylays an attack upon him, okay. But if he's just doing it and it's unwarranted and he's literally doing it for the views, then he get cut out because that ain't good for the culture.
That ain't good for the culture. But that ain't all of him.
And I know that ain't all of him.
I know you saying that like enough is enough. I know what you're saying.
And I'm literally saying it. I'm saying it because of the fact that one, there's too many of them that don't have that decorum and act right.
But if you don't say
every word he say, except for the words that he say to
The
them.
extremists who had a microphone. But if you're gonna say that right too,
Yeah.
we can't just talk about it when it's black women. Because like I said,
I know.
he does it to black men too. And don't nobody
look,
say nothing when it's black men.
You know why they don't say nothing?
Why?
Because majority of those black men who champion a lot of his views, a lot of the wannabe Tommy Sotomayor's in there, they don't listen to those videos. They will ignore that shit like the plague.
They was listening to the video.
Look, get what I'm saying? It's the same thing as them dudes who whenever they hear certain stories in the Bible, actually, them Hebrew Israelites that be sitting there saying, you're supposed to submit, you're supposed to do this. Look, they will pick out Bible verses that will fit their narrative, but they will never read the whole thing.
And then what about?
And they will never quote all of it verbatim, but they will say that they like the product.
Sure.
Get what I'm saying? And it's the same thing.
But check this out though. Check this out though. Still though,
right?
We have to talk about the viralness of it because he didn't become viral when he was talking about men.
No.
But women were still watching then. You know why? Because it wasn't a problem to nobody then. Because the prevailing voice, and this is my argument, the prevailing voice in the culture says that men are the problem. So if men are being held accountable, then nothing else is to be talked about if it's just other men. That's where the issue comes into play, because it has to be on both ends.
Right.
If you're gonna hold the man to the fire when he's degrading women, then you holding the man to the fire when he's degrading men.
Oh, absolutely.
But everybody's not doing that.
Look, and I will hold him to the fire, because my thing is there were a couple things that I held him to the fire for. Because one weird one that he was talking about, because I'll hold Derek Jackson to the fire all day too.
Because he was another type of the same.
Right. Because here's the thing.
He was doing the opposite.
Look, because degrading a man, and I'm saying this from personal experience, degrading or berating a man is never going to make him better. If anything, it will engender resentment, and it will cause him to do exactly the opposite of what you're trying to get him to do out of spite.
But check this out, though, right?
And that's the truth.
In highlighting that, then basically we can look at this from two opposing forces, right? Mm-hmm. Because remember, Derek Jackson was the one that people was basically of the opinion that he's placating the women.
Yes. And
right now, people have the opinion that Kevin Samuels placates the men.
Right.
That's what the point is. But in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we gotta fish through it.
And honestly, I see them as two sides. Look, I see them as two sides of the same coin. They're basically the same person, just in different points of life.
But see, though, here's the thing. Now, here's where I disagree.
Okay.
Because we actually can see when Kevin had a different tune.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Jackson never had a different tune.
At least not outwardly.
And that matters. At least not outwardly, to where we can hold it accountable. And say this is how he was.
Yes.
And that matters.
Yes.
It matters because it's not as easy as all he does is degrade women. If you come with that point,
right,
you haven't really actually studied.
And look, and that's the reason why I say
and that's problematic.
Look, yes, I will say that Derek is less genuine, but this is one thing that I'll hold them both to the fire for, because they're doing the same thing for different reasons on different sides. And here's the literal facts. Okay, when you degrade a man, you're just digging a hole to put yourself in. I feel that. And we're going to address that one. And also Keontae said women care enough to get mad and complain about things said online about them. And well, that's just true of any homogenous group. I will say that any homogenous group that sees a outlying agreement or outlying argument is going to care because it affects them. But we'll get back to that. What I was going to say is the thing that I hold them both to the fire for is doing something that they know will generate likes. They know will generate revenue. They know will generate, commentary and all these things, because they're doing the same thing. That's why I consider them two sides of the same coin. A Derek Jackson can grow up to become a Kevin Samuels.
But you're arguing simply that was part of his direct point. What I'm saying is,
I'm not saying it's part of his direct point.
Or not his point, but his reasoning behind why he does it.
Oh, he's almost said that.
But bro, he's
legitimately explained that.
Here's the other part, though, that you have to also mention.
Okay.
He hasn't changed his approach. His approach hasn't changed.
No.
The only thing that's changed is the subject.
And
the person of
and one thing, look, and one thing I will
to woman.
Yes.
But his energy has been the same.
And one thing that I will say about that is that in another way,
it's been consistent.
A lot of the women have to be held accountable, because you can't look, and this is one thing I'm gonna say to y'all ladies. There are a lot of dudes that will do this, and there are a lot of women who will do this as well to men. You never take the bait towards somebody, and you never take the bait to walk into somebody's own house and then try to critique what their furniture looks like. You don't walk into somebody's house and tell them how nasty their floor is. You don't do that because you're setting yourself up for failure. You are walking in as a guest. You're walking in on their platform. You're in their playing field.
You're playing, you guys. Give us some likes. We need that.
You're playing. Look, you're playing to their advantage. You can't fall for the herd. If you really want to destroy somebody like that, if you really want to dismantle somebody like that bad, all you have to do is not get involved. All you have to do is not give that stuff energy, and that's just the truth. That's the literal truth. Now, am I saying we should censor the dude? No, because censorship is a whole other problem. We're gonna talk about that later. But the simple fact is, if you don't subscribe to it, don't subscribe to it. Don't come on there. I have nothing against the women who are trying to get or gain some clarity from somebody and just decide and just so happen to jump on his show, whether they get hurt or not. I have a problem with the ones that are trying to hop on thinking they're going to disrespect or discredit him or whatever because you're falling into a hole. You're playing into somebody's hands. You don't walk into the villain's lair without a plan, bro.
But you know what though?
If you truly consider him the villain, you don't walk in there.
No, yeah, you don't. But also,
right.
Have you seen where that doesn't happen? What happens? Yeah, it's pretty smooth.
And the reason being is because what is intended to happen happened. As in, when they were going for something that they wanted, whether it hurt their feelings or not, they got what they asked for.
Sure, and once again, when we even look at the breakdown of it,
right? As
we know, there's women supporters of Kevin Samuels that agree and rock with what he's saying.
Right.
And you know what? Just like in the not in black culture. Ooh, I don't like that. I said that.
Oh, Jesus.
And when it comes to men and women, just like there's men who frown upon those men and call them terms like simps and other things.
Right.
Right. Right. There's women who call those women pick-me's.
Yes.
So once again, this dynamic happens on both sides of the coin.
Oh, absolutely.
So there are some similarities in the terms to certain behaviors that men and women express. But once again, exception to the rule, not the generalization. Right. Also, when we talk about men and women, biologically, we're different, and there's other dynamics that play into that. If you don't believe me, go study any other species in America, any other animals, any other mammals specifically.
Right.
Like we are animals, for those of y'all who still don't know that or don't accept that.
Well, just say, man.
A lot of our dynamics.
Don't like to hear it.
They'll be all right. They will be all right. With animals. They'll be all right.
They'll like that.
They'll be all right. There are dynamics that happen in the animal kingdom, like with monkeys, gorillas, for example, that also play out in our modern life. Yeah. Whether y'all know that or not.
Because instinct still plays a role.
I was having this conversation with M-Dot the other day, and actually today, I was just like, most women, generalization, don't get triggered because you're the exception to the rule. Most women like men that are a certain height, usually 6 feet and above. Do y'all just think that's just a preference? No, it ain't. You know where it also comes from? What it also comes from is how we view stature.
Yep.
Typically,
it signifies strength.
It signifies strength, security. And women prioritize strength and security when they're looking for a man.
Right.
That's not to say that everybody's like that. Of course not.
And that's the same reason why most of your older brothers or your older homies are saying, look, man, stop walking with your shoulder. Look, they used to always get me, man. Stop walking with your shoulder slump. You look sad. Man, look, square your shoulders.
Y'all remember when the basketball players went viral?
Yeah, fix your face.
Over there UCLA?
Hold your head.
He was like, bro, fix your chin.
Yeah.
Stand up proud.
And that has a lot to do with also aesthetics. That has a whole lot to do with aesthetics. Depending on different cultures, there have been different things that are considered aesthetically pleasurable. There have been times where thicker women or thicker men have been prioritized because they are considered to be more affluent. You know what I'm saying? They've been considered, that's a sign of wealth. That's a sign of security, except just a different kind of security. Or with women, if they have wider hips, then that means, okay, they're more suited for childbearing. They're more able to fall in line with the aesthetic and the desires and the needs that I have.
And those are instinctual things, y'all.
Yeah.
Like there's a women, oftentimes as men, because we hear it a lot, even if it's not directly said to us, we hear that, men are horny. Yeah. Yeah. Be careful. Hey, don't deal with a man that doesn't know how to express self-control, ladies.
Please.
But
don't.
yes, we are.
Yeah,
a lot more than you actually probably think.
Yes, I have a belly. I can afford food. I feel that. Look, me and some bros are actually talking about this. We was actually talking about this. I said, what's interesting is that I was like, it's funny that I noticed I'm bigger currently than I ever have been. You know what I mean? I used to always be skinny to the point where my folks used to question whether I eat. But I'm like, it's interesting that I get more looks, or there's more attention given. Like, cause me and one of my other homies, my bro Mike, he ain't small either. Me and him about the same size, more or less. You know what I mean? He might actually be smaller than me, but I don't know. But literally, we were sitting there when I was talking about. I'm like, ain't it interesting that they start noticing it now? And it was like, and my bro THEO, shout out to him. Also, check out, go on to AKAImusic.com. He has a sound kit that's out right now. And I actually have it up. I think so that way I don't mess this up. He's got a guitar pack. It's called the Skittles. SKITTAL guitar pack. I'm gonna go ahead and link that.
Yeah, go ahead and link that.
It's the only joint on here.
We plan to get y'all resources. Well, we're gonna get more and more resources.
I shout out the bros and the homies. So if you have things that you want to market or put out to the people, let me know.
Yeah, get in contact with us. Don't just spam.
That was a side note, but he made a good point. He's like, well, maybe the reason that they go for a dude who's a little bigger is because that shows that you can afford to eat good. I was like, that's a valid point.
That's definitely a dynamic in certain cultures, as we know.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes,
heft has a correlation with wealth.
Yeah, but let's see. Okay, Kara says women like bigger men now because they believe they like to eat, which equals a free meal with dinner date. Jesus,
and you know what?
And ain't no judgment in you there.
Don't get me started on the type of man. Woo, there's a whole privilege and toxic dynamic that comes with that. Getting your free meal, knowing you ain't interested in a man at all. But I digress. We will save that for a different conversation. Y'all see, I get hyped. That's how I be.
Let me breathe. But
man, what? Let's y'all. We really went over our time for this one because
we did.
We enjoying this. We hope
y'all
enjoy.
You notice every time we say it's gonna be a short. No, Keontae said we're going out for Happy Meals, sir. Sir, don't get beat up.
He said, look, my time cost. That's what he said.
Look, at least give him a free photo shoot. Let him feel cute before y'all start eating.
Cost.
It sweetens the deal. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out. But also one thing I will say is that dang. Okay. He said Starbucks. That's a good addition. Okay, people like Starbucks. That's cool. But one thing I always notice, at least with me, don't you start that. Don't you start, because I already know what you're about to say. Why do you tripping? I'm gonna do that in a minute. But what I was gonna say is, dang it. Okay, that wasn't what I expected, but it's still terrible.
I think you might as well.
Let me get the double seaweed. I can't do it without laughing.
Silly.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh wow.
Okay, I'm tripping. But literally, there is a concept that it's an exchange of services sometimes. I'm trying to get my brain right. Okay, I know what I was gonna say. Like for me, there are certain things that you have to take with whatever aesthetic you like and prefer. With me, I have a preference towards strong-willed women. I have to accept whatever comes with that. I have to accept the fact that literally every woman I've dated will take me to task for anything where I'm tripping. Even some things that I'm not. And that's just the truth. It's just part and parcel to dealing with that. Same thing as if you're dealing with a woman who is more submissive or a man who is more submissive. You have to take whatever comes with that. You have to take whatever comes with that person.
If that's what you want. Because I want to tell y'all something too.
Right. If that's what you committed to and that's what you want, then you got to deal with that.
Part of the culture tells women not to settle. I'm here to tell y'all, if you got 80,000 things on your list of standards and you're not settling for that, you ain't going to find nobody. That ain't Kevin Samuels. That's common sense.
Yeah.
Pick
ain't even Kevin Samuels. That's Cat Williams.
Pick 3 to 10.
Look, that's Cat Williams. Because remember, he said everybody trying to find 100% good dudes.
Right.
You sit there and get somebody who's 93% good.
And you still a problem.
Look, and you mad. And the next thing you know, you end up with somebody who's 70.
Bruh, listen. Pick 3 to 10 things. I always say a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Pick 10 to 3 non-negotiable things when you out here dating.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, you will filter out a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
But also with that, if you don't falter on those things, you're going to find somebody good. Everything else that they check off after that is a plus.
Yes. And on the flip side of
that's what you should search for when you're looking for the ideal person.
Right.
A person that is going to meet your non-negotiables, because your non-negotiables are supposed to be based on your values. And you don't turn on those for nobody.
Yep.
Hear me?
Look, well, some of us are just greedy and want it all. Look, everybody greedy from one point to another.
Gluttony. Hey, you know what happens with gluttony?
Dang. All right. Well, dang. I rest my case. But for real. On the other side of that, though, one thing that my great-grandmother told my grandmother,
Polly,
when they was
hey, but Polly, look, I'm not a proponent of Polly like that, but it does exist in other species of animals too. Alpha male is a term that we use. It's not just a term that refers to us,
which is also not
to gorillas. I think it refers to lions. Wolf, like there's a lot of other hierarchies that exist amongst other creatures in society that have the same type of setup.
You know what's crazy about that? That goes back on today, another episode of today's episodes of words that are used that are not correctly freaking defined. Is when you say, "Oh, you a beta male." Do you know what a beta male is? Do you know what beta means? It doesn't mean what you're saying it is. That's goofy. Look, okay. Kiki said, hey, you got to be what you want to attract too. Because, baby, don't be looking for a rich, not in debt person and you out here with a 300 credit score. Preach that.
Hey, you know what, though? I think that's a good place to start, right? But you know what? Listen, and let's keep it a buck, though, too, though.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that I want to say, like,
okay,
you know, kind of like what she said.
Yeah.
But also, get in where you fit in, too. Cause
don't ask somebody to bring something to the table if the legs on your table are halfway broke.
But even then, though, right? We live in a world where we can talk about exceptions of the rule, too, right?
Right.
We can have both of those things and talk about them, right?
Yeah.
Because like what he said, you know, he likes a certain type of woman.
Yeah.
That might not be the majority of women. Or it might be. Either way, though, he gets in where he fits in. He like what he like, and he stick with that. Now,
sometimes it just happens.
Could he want something else? Currently not right now because he would twin. But still, if he did want that, we got to ask ourselves, kind of like what Kiki said.
Right.
For the type of stuff that you say you want in a person,
right,
ladies and gentlemen, have you ever thought what they might want in you?
And there it is. There it is. And
maybe they don't want what you want in them. Maybe they want something different.
Right. And here's the thing. That's a hard question to ask, but you have to ask it.
If one of y'all don't GIF my hand movements or something and turn that into a meme so we can make some money, I'll give y'all a little bit.
He's trying to make that Umar Johnson school fund money.
Hey, bro. Tax deductible donations, family. Yes, we got to remember that. Don't get me started, man.
I need your minute rights money.
Yeah, right.
But
I want your quick money. Quick rich. But
I'm dying. But okay. Hold on. Humans are meant to have multiple relationships, sexual and non-sexual. This is what Caramel said. I'm like, and I think a lot of that just chalks up to experience. I think for me, the human experience, and one of the most important but also most dangerous things about being human is that we desire to learn. And by that I mean experiences are essentially learning, is the base level of learning. And that's literally that. Javar said, I mean, if you're paying, I'll give every motion you're doing right now.
Ah, hey, not yet. Hey, but you know what though? Free promo, bro. You already know. You my brother, so you already know.
Yeah.
You already know I got you.
Dang, Javar, you out here like that? You out there like that, bro?
Hey, my man's will screenshot, screen grab. He's that dude. He been that dude for as long as I've known him. I've known him for like 15 years now.
I didn't know this man for a good amount of time. Yeah, I know Mo. I know Mo. I know. But what I was gonna say is, because it's true. I'm not saying that you necessarily have to be on exactly the same level of a person that you encounter or a person that you deal with, but you have to at least be able to present the possibility that you can get up to that level, or that you're at least going to aspire to get to that level, okay? You know what I'm saying? You have to be willing to try. I respect, like, me personally, I respect effort. I respect effort. I don't really care whether you make as much money as I do, but if you're trying to work like me, cool.
That's kind of where I'm at. I don't particularly, at least personally, right? Let me get personal with y'all.
Yeah, similar goals. Thank you.
Yeah, similar goals. Because I can say, right,
we just got to steer the ship in the same direction. That's all.
That's kind of how I view it. But I look at it like this. You know, I very much do believe in a lot of traditional dynamics when it comes to men and women.
We
we have different roles that we play. I don't view it though as one person being above or below. I more so look at it as a strong suit type of thing. Just like with basketball, right? There's multiple players on the team, but they don't all do the same thing. They do different things, but you need them all in order to win the game. And they need to be proficient in what they're doing in order to win the game. So like,
right.
In my case, you know, I'm very apt to lead. I have no problem leading. I think anybody who would invest that time in me would find that I am that dude. But I need maintenance too. Just like with a ship, right? The captain might steer the ship, but there's other people who contribute to the ship moving forward outside the captain.
Right.
They don't look at each other like somebody's more important than the other because they understand that the mutual job is important regardless.
Yes.
My biggest thing is I need somebody to maintain.
Yeah.
A lot of people sleep on maintenance, which is balance.
Yes.
You need somebody that can balance things out.
Because sometimes they feel like they get that ideal, like they get the girl, they get the guy, and then that's it. It's nothing else. You set the goal of just getting the person, and then okay, here we are. What do we do?
Right. And that's why you look, my best advice that I could tell the people out here single, and even those in relationships, y'all gotta have serious conversations.
Yeah.
You have to talk about values. You have to talk about non-negotiables. Because God forbid you let somebody slide past your radar and then you wait till after you dating them to then course correct them.
There's a lot that you have to repair at that point because they already have expectations of what you're gonna do and what you ain't gonna do.
Exactly. Set the boundaries in the beginning.
With that being said, there's always this concept. Like with me, I'm just a goofy person, so I like to have fun. I will post, meme, GIF, whatever, you halfway to death. Nowhere near as bad as my homie Keelan. Shout out to Mitty, because that man is the GOAT at doing that, like unhealthily so. But I am the type person that I do sometimes get too much into joking and just having fun and blah, blah, blah. So sometimes I have to ground myself and be like, man, okay, I do need to have a serious conversation. And sometimes it's hard to have those serious conversations, especially as Black people, because there's so many things to talk about, man. And the list keeps mounting up every day.
You know what?
Every day.
You know, I'm the opposite of you.
Niggas is dying in the middle of a pandemic. Niggas is dying when the main goal is to stay at home
and stay alive.
Yes.
You know how messed up that is. I think I'm more the opposite. I'm definitely more of the more serious. I might say something funny, But I think like
You
anybody who knows me,
you always tie something serious to it.
yeah, anybody who knows me know there's always a serious tie-in, or I just say something that just happens to be so outrageous that you find it funny,
Yeah,
because you also know that he really think yes.
I know, and I just be looking at you. I'll be like, this man.
That's why people be like, you crazy. Yes.
Because you is.
But you know what I'm saying?
Look,
It's like,
look, speak your speech, own your truth,
bruh,
own your truth.
Listen, and there's somebody for everybody, y'all.
Yeah, everybody's a little crazy. It just
Don't
matters
throw,
whether
like I
they
said
crazy
before,
as much as yours.
we can't throw out the baby with the bathwater with the generalization.
Absolutely.
And we can't hang on to the exceptions like we're all the actual exception when we all are not.
Mm-hmm.
The easiest way that you know if you're the exception,
Mm-hmm.
not only are you not really tapped into the majority, but you don't refer to yourself as the exception.
Yes.
And on the other end, the main way you know you're not the generalization is if you're not trying to be somebody that you aren't.
Yes.
Be yourself. I preach that no matter what the dynamic is.
Because the simple fact is, yourself is the best. Look, yourself is something that you can work on. Yourself is something that you can, build up, that you can make better, because you understand it in and out. If you understand the mechanics of who you are, then you can build yourself because of who you are.
So many people have identity crisis.
Everybody, you reach a ceiling when you try to be something that you're not. And the reason is because you don't intrinsically understand it. You don't innately understand what that is. You're just creating a facsimile of what you think you're supposed to be.
You know what, y'all? We actually gonna start to wrap up for real this time. We definitely enjoyed our time here with you guys, because we do plan on giving y'all a short version of this, which is gonna be the pod. That's gonna probably be like 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, best. Because we know people got time.
Thank you. Yeah, we know
people got
things to
y'all
do.
Y'all got goals. Some of y'all got
me.
kids. Some of y'all got goals and kids.
We all got work of some sort.
I mean, look, everybody got lives.
I got a business to help manage. He got some stuff to work on. Shoot,
we trying to be unbroke
got some
out
greatness
here.
To witness tomorrow.
Hey,
I gotta go to sleep. But
I'm gonna try.
I hope y'all enjoyed this time with us.
Thank you very much, Kiki. You know we will.
For those of y'all who want to continue talking about any and everything, we
appreciate yours too. We appreciate everybody's input in this.
Facts.
We want every discussion to be like this. This was lit.
Yes, it was.
So if if all we can have is everybody that was on this list next time,
plus all your friends.
Plus all your friends.
Come on.
I would say leave the ratchets out, but no, their voice counts too. Their voice counts too.
Bring them too.
Their voice counts too.
When we get the super chat set up, any of the ratchets will be able to pay.
For a nominal fee.
Your
opinion will be considered.
And I might roast
2 seconds.
I'm halfway decent with the roast. Low key, I'm a legend.
VIP, yes. Yes.
Oh yes. Listen, Patreon is coming.
Bring the roast
for Patreon.
But
we'll be doing call-ins
in the
and
booth.
stuff.
Yes.
And we'll be doing round table discussions.
Yes.
Too. Because there's gonna be more than us talking.
And just to put it out there, we're gonna literally get a round table.
Yes,
literally. The round table is being searched for
because I won't accept nothing less. I even got how I want the tablecloth and everything that's gonna go on.
He trying to have us in here like the Black Justice read. Oh, you got the box one already?
Hey.
Oh, okay.
Because afterwards, there's gonna have to be like maybe a few mixers or something like that.
I get that.
For people to decompress after they just got through passionately discussing things.
Yeah, look, I ain't gonna lie.
I don't want nobody going to bed.
I got 2 things that I'm gonna say about the roundtable discussions. Yes, the painting in the back is dope. Do we know who made that? Who does it say made it?
Sydney Bruner.
Okay. Speaking of such,
and that one is for sale. $350.
Yes, we're gonna actually link that. Hold on.
Yes, we're gonna link the Twyman Art website for those of y'all who are familiar with Twyman Art.
Because we are in the art gallery, and just about all these pieces, except for the ones in the bathroom, are for sale.
Yes.
So
this pod is brought to you by Twyman Art.
Yes. So we're gonna link you to the gallery.
In the podcast, we'll talk a little bit more about Twyman Art and some of the upcoming things we got going on.
I'm gonna link that stuff too.
Definitely. And like we have an event that me and him are going to be the main features of. That's going to be on the 18th in Evansville, Indiana, at the Boca Lounge, 1007 Paris Street in the Art District. For those of y'all who live in the area, That's where we'll be at on Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
May 18th.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna drop some lines, and sir here will also. We'll give y'all some talk, some power talk.
It's gonna be real. It's gonna be real. Oh, okay. So 2 things I was gonna say about the roundtable in the event that we do it, if and when. I'm gonna really say when. It's 2 things. One, we will have now that you've spoken on it, we will have a refractory period afterwards for everyone to chill, decompress. If you gotta cry, you gotta cry. If you gotta just go in the corner, do whatever you gotta do, just do it. Just don't mess up the artwork because we ain't trying to get killed. It will be on camera and like that's not safe. But the other thing I will say is these will be orderly discussions. And I'm going to stand on that hill and die on it.
Yeah, we'll have a moderator.
They may be passionate. I'm okay with passionate because people have to have passions. These will be orderly discussions. So utilize discretion. We are all grown. If one of these discussions is something to where you feel like if you chime in, you're gonna wild out to the point where we're gonna have to get you up out of here, it's okay to hold your peace.
Yeah, because I don't personally,
because all of us got something that triggers us that bad.
For sure.
Okay, we understand. But I'm not going but I personally am not going to tolerate that because I don't want us to end up like some of these other networks that be on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, where it'd be like, okay, what's up, everybody? We've got the whole group here and everything's great. And you scroll in 2 minutes and they all yelling at each other like, I'm tired of it.
Right.
Look. People coming in. Look, people trying to pull a Hitman Holler trying to come back in with the bag, and you know what's in the bag.
Man.
You know what's in the bag.
Hey.
And all of a sudden it becomes an extended dick measuring contest. You know what I'm talking about? We ain't with
or shaming or any of that other kind of stuff.
We will not tolerate shaming. We will not tolerate direct or personal attacks. We will not tolerate inconsideration for anybody's specific plight because everybody goes through different things and we all have different ways of dealing with them. This will be an orderly discussion and you will get the heat L out.
Hey. He said it. He said it. Hey,
that's on power.
Also,
I will eject you myself. I don't care.
We're gonna have a moderator. Yeah. Anybody that know me know I don't mind ejecting nobody. I ain't the biggest thing around, but most of y'all know me. I'm big enough to have the most. So yeah, we're gonna keep it cordial. We're gonna have a good time.
But look, and that's the only thing I ask. That has no bearing on the discussion. That has no bearing on the subject matter. Anything like that. That's cool. We can talk about whatever. Trust me.
That sounds like something you would say. That sounds like something you would say, man.
But seriously, I don't mind discussions. I don't mind different subject matter because I want to have all different types of folks up in here.
Oh yeah, we gotta have all different kinds. We're gonna have different
because look. Because one thing we gonna definitely say is that blackness is not a monolith.
Nope. Neither is opinion.
No. Especially not black opinion.
Nope.
So that's what we're endeavoring to truly show. If not just for a moment.
Yeah, so for anybody thinking like, hey, I'm white, can I have an opinion? Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Just don't say anything. Just don't say anything incendiary because if they decide, look, if you slip and you say, I'm just gonna say this. I am gonna say this as a disclaimer for that.
Yeah.
If you slip and you say the N-word and they all decide to curb stomp you, the camera will get cut off.
Hey, that's a good. Hey,
the names will not be released, and the cops will not be called. You go get what you get.
The N-word is the exception to the rule.
You
ever get that mad to say that word? Understand.
Either eject or you will be ejected.
Walk yourself out, or you will be walked out.
Look. Unless
your legs will learn how to do the walk it out, whether you know it or not.
Look, I'm just saying, I ain't trying to add to the artwork. All right.
Right. Hey, mugs being turned into graffiti.
Look, mugs being turned into a Picasso.
Or any other words like that, whether they be black,
don't do that,
or not.
Look, don't do that.
Don't come in here saying the K word. Y'all know the K word.
Oh,
I ain't talking KKK neither, but that K word can go with it too. Y'all know the word.
It really can.
But we don't need none of that. We don't need none of that fire.
No.
Keep that in your house. Keep that in your mind.
Fresh Prince Jazz style walkout. What you mean walkout? Jazz got tossed out.
Right.
And we do got a flight of stairs.
Man,
It hurt.
Where's Uncle Phil when you need him? You know what? Beyonce, Uncle Phil in another universe. Hey. Sorry. Yeah, that's the black in me. Just that easy. Just that easy. I love you. I love you. You're my brother.
Oh God, I can see it now.
Hey. Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what, y'all?
I'm crying.
Do y'all care if we stay on to 9:15?
Oh, Jesus.
We can. It'll round it out at 2 hours. I have this thing about time increments and numbers and stuff. Things got to be even. Things got to be right on the marker. So, are y'all cool with us pushing it to 15?
Especially Keontae because he was late.
And just doing some questions.
Yeah, I mean, look. Shoot us what?
It's the after party. Well, all right, cool.
It's the after party.
Cool.
I'm mad that you get the updates a little quicker than I do.
For real?
Yeah. Like it's a second, but yeah.
Oh, probably because rendering off of what you're on.
That's true. Okay, yeah. So what questions y'all got?
All we missing is nope. This is not the show for that. I was gonna say all we missing is drinks.
Sir.
Not
Sir, this is a children's program.
Right.
Not quite, but
rated PG-13.
Look, I ain't gonna lie. Q&A. Go for it. Yes.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we said we was gonna do questions.
Look, this is as much of a children's program.
And we can talk about anything, y'all, at this point. It don't have to be on topic.
Me, myself, and Jose Cuervo. Jesus.
It don't have to be on topic.
Yeah,
so y'all don't have to feel pigeonholed to the topic at hand.
Yeah,
y'all gonna ask any question for real.
We gonna about beat that to death in the podcast anyway.
Yeah, this is more the wind down. Like you said, at the party. Let's get it.
Lord, you just had to mention.
Somebody be brave and step out there.
Yep. There's no judgments if you want to be first.
It can be a question for both of us or one of us. Direct your question.
Look, there's no such thing as stupid questions.
No, yeah, I agree. I don't believe in stupid questions.
There are a lot of stupid.
If you're asking, you want to know something,
and we will try not to offer you stupid
that either
answers.
you don't know or you don't comprehend. Yeah, that's okay.
I mean, that's the point of the question. Yeah. So let's hear it. I mean, we got 7 folk on here. We should at least have 7 questions.
I think we peaked at 9, ladies and gentlemen.
We did peak at 9.
For those of y'all who are day ones, just know that like when we have a bunch of people and y'all actually be members and have emotes, y'all gonna feel it.
Let's see. When am I coming on the show? You will be coming on the show once we get the round table, because that's
once we get the round table and once we get video set up, because there will be chats and stuff too, because distance and other hindrances such as that. The roundtable discussions will literally most likely be in person. There'll probably be some where, due to one reason or another, we'll just do it as a roundtable.
And somebody has to get phoned in. Yeah. That's okay. But that's really what we're waiting on. We're waiting on the opportunity to actually do it properly.
And we got so many people who want to come on the show too. So we also going to have to figure out how we get that in order as well. But rest assured,
the table can only be so round.
Hey, and it can only fit so many people. But guess what?
Yeah.
We service everybody. We service the people.
Yes.
So we will definitely keep some variety.
Yes. Because COVID, we can't be having too many people in the group.
Coronavirus.
Look, I ain't trying to have nobody get sick just because we had a heated discussion and somebody accidentally leaked on someone else. No.
I would.
Also, if you talk as you spit, you're probably not gonna be invited. But
I'm already uninvited myself.
Look,
passionate people be like,
good. No questions. None at all.
Y'all ain't got no questions, remarks for us. It's 7 of y'all out here. Somebody got something to say,
and opinions. That's
or something to ask.
Yeah.
Bowl of peppermints.
Bowl of peppermints.
Oh, you talking about yeah, because we can't do gum.
Oh, we can't do gum. We can't do gum?
No, not on the mics, bro.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Where's Twin at when I need
to
get you
Kiki said also the hoodie. I'm gonna need mine working up on.
Yo, I am working on that right now because more than one person have asked about this hoodie.
I think we're up to about 5.
So we're gonna be putting it on the site here soon. Gotta talk to the distributor / maker ish. We gotta figure that out, figure out a good price for y'all. And then it's gonna be out there. Cause this when you see this, you know what it is.
Yep. You already know, baby.
Oh yeah.
It's stickers. Coming. Yes, we do need stickers. You are right.
Let her know it.
We need to get stickers. We should probably get armbands. All that. Because I'm an armband person. I finally have mowed myself down to one, and that's only because the other ones have all broken. Ooh, bumper stickers, t-shirts, tattoos for my forehead. Oh no,
bruh.
I don't want to get into the forehead tattoos, bruh. Man. We ain't that dope.
I guess you wanna.
So you.
I guess you want a stopwatch on her head so she know what time it is.
I mean,
I'm here all night.
Look. Okay, let's see. Nanny started talking about tattoos. I don't know. Tattoos involve sponsorship deals, and we ain't got no bread like that. Like,
the same black ink Chicago.
I ain't got no more room on my arms. I mean, yeah. You don't want it on your head, though. What's your opinion on body art and modifications? Okay.
You want to go first, or you want me?
You.
So here's my thing.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Okay.
I've never really been a person that's very big on what I consider alterations of the body. I never really have. I don't know where it's rooted at. Other than I feel that people should come into this world as they are, and they should leave that way too. It's not a deal breaker for me, though. The more tattoos, the less attracted I find a woman. It's not a deal breaker though. It's not something I'd be like, no, I'm just not dating with nobody with tattoos. Because I'd be lying if I said I never did.
Yeah.
Because I've dated quite a few.
So and
it's becoming more common in this day and age.
I have to actually think about that.
But piercings, all right. Piercings, all right.
I don't know if I have.
I don't have any tattoos myself either. So, I mean,
yeah,
I just never really thought that big of tattoos in general.
The two, look, dang, sad face. Look, we're sorry. We're very sorry. But yeah, that's just his. As for me, I don't have an issue per se with tattoos. As long as there are things that are meaningful and make sense. Because sometimes they make good conversation starters. Sometimes I'm literally curious. So, like, oh, why'd you get that?
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
So a black in a minute stopwatch on your forehead.
I don't know about the forehead.
Does that, how you feel about that?
I don't.
Is she getting thrown out?
She ain't getting thrown out, but I am going to be very concerned.
Getting, the Will Smith, the Rock talk to the hand.
Look, I ain't going to say all that. I'm just going to be very concerned as to why you put it on your forehead, though.
I already told you.
Like, why the forehead? Like, I don't know. I don't know about the forehead, man. I feel like that would be excruciatingly painful. I mean, yeah, forever a fan. Okay, that's valid. Right. But more to the point, with body art and modifications, I think that everything can matter. Bruh.
Funny. Hey, joke. Hey, that was good. That was good.
That was clean. Okay.
That was better than my little.
That's better than the wrap it up button.
That was better than my little thing I did earlier. Okay.
Gee, that was cool. Okay. I was gonna say body modifications. I feel like, as with everything should be to some degree in moderation. As in, I don't think that everybody should just not have any tattoos or any modifications at all. But at the same time, I feel like at a certain point, it can be a bit too much.
I forgot.
And also, like with aesthetics, look, some stuff fits some people better. Some stuff don't fit some people better.
I forgot about the modification part. So, like, I'd assume that they were also talking about cosmetic surgery. Yeah. Which, if that's the case, I'm a no-go for cosmetic surgery. I don't want nobody with a fake butt.
To be fair, some cosmetic surgeries are medical in nature, and the reason I know, like case in point, I know women who've had breast reductions because they end up with back pain and a lot of other issues. Sure, it's like, okay, I get that. That look,
and that's why I was specific, because I wanted to be clear.
Yeah.
Ass shots and breast enlargement. Yeah, y'all can have that. I'm not interested in that.
Yeah. Okay. She said all my art can be hidden. I had to make sure to fit into the professional world. Yeah, and I feel that. And that's the reason why I say moderation, because not so much because of a preferential thing, but because sometimes it can cause problems for that person later on. And these are considerations I have. You know what I'm saying? The reason I ain't got no tattoos is because I just legitimately couldn't think of what to put on me.
I've thought of stuff I would get,
but I have
not enough to get
right. I have also learned that because I'm a cheap ass. But I've also learned that getting tattooed is addictive, and it gets to the point where you get one, and then you get two, and the next thing you know, you got five.
Bro, why do I just think I would be the person that would love it. I know I would pay money to get a good one because I'm all about the quality.
Yeah.
But I would be talking ish about it at the same time.
Yeah, don't get the basement.
Yeah, I got this tattoo. It's cold. You ain't seen nobody like it.
Look. Don't get the basement tattoos. All right, don't get the basement tattoos that look like your 7-year-old drew it. Please don't. Okay, yes, it feels good too. So yeah, it is addictive.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to do it though. But
I just don't know what I would get.
I really don't. People who have them.
Yeah, I don't knock it.
You know.
Look, the same reason I ain't got tattoos, the same reason I ain't got my ears pierced ever is because I was like, I just didn't want to be about that life. I used to want one. I used to want at least just one ear pierced, really just both because I thought it was weird to have one. But I was like, when I learned about how they had to do it, I'm like, I already don't really like needles.
Listen,
I'm good.
I got a bad story for that, right?
Oh no.
I let my cousin, my little cousin, by little I mean like 2 years younger than me, my little cousin pierced my ears back in high school with a safety pin and an ice cube, right? All because I still have these expensive earrings, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I wanted to wear, that I got as a gift. I rocked them earrings. A paper clip, bro. I was in desperation. It was free, and I was just like, what the heck? I was rocking earrings. I was rocking earrings in high school for like senior year. It complemented the mohawk and everything else I had going on at the time. Because at that time, I was
Mocha said
at that time I was flashy. I was cutting my eyebrows. I was a different me. Like I was wearing all the designer
I've seen
stuff.
them pictures.
I was that.
Didn't
I
have
was
the
that
same
me.
face. I
I didn't have no facial hair neither. That was a different me. Like the plain Jane me that y'all see today with the locks.
Yeah.
I was the exact opposite.
Look, I will say for me in high school, I wore hoodies all the time. My hair was tied back, or my hair was always on point. But in terms of outfit, subdued. Absolutely subdued.
Oh, bro.
I wore regular jeans. The most that I would do is wear an open shirt where I would have like the undershirt on there.
Bro, I was pink polo Cayenne.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't.
I had the polos. I had the sweater vest.
Nah, bro. I had the flannel shirt and the basic, A shirt underneath, which sometimes I wouldn't be able to wear all the time at school because they tell you to button it up, and I never wanted to button it up. That was the only thing I had. And Keelan used to always tell me that I shouldn't have did that because I made him look fatter by comparison. And I'm like, that's not really my fault. And
I didn't have a
I can't really do that no more because I got bigger.
I did have a chain wallet, which I always used to get in trouble for.
Okay,
having my chain out.
I was a chain person. I did always have a necklace. I did always have something on my arm, and I did always have a watch.
Oh yeah,
that was just me.
Yeah, I had to watch. Me too. I had a watch. I had wristbands. I had silly bands.
Bro, I ain't had the silly bands, but I had a dumb amount of these bands. I
always had a brush on me.
You know what I did once?
We used to get brushes taken.
Look. Now, I used to keep a pick on me at all times because I used to keep my hair picked out. I had to threaten to use that thing on somebody a few times because they was wilding. And they thought they was gonna say something and do something wild. I'm
rubber bands on my pants. I'm wearing Jabos because I'm from Chicago.
Yeah, see, I ain't doing that.
At one point, me and my guys, everybody was wearing Mark Echo. Everybody was wearing Echo with the rhinos on it. Sean John was still a thing. Man.
No.
Right? Sean John and Rockaware was still a thing.
Gee, the good old days.
Oh boy.
The good old days with poor picture quality and poor poses. Yes.
Flip phones.
Niggas always used to look mad in every picture. Guilty as charged.
Oh man.
I used to always look pissed off.
Adidas.
FUBU. Yeah, she said FUBU.
Yeah.
I had as a kid, I had a reversible FUBU bubble coat.
Oh, you had FUBU? I had the Nautica one. It was black on one side and yellow on the other.
I had that one. Mine was blue and yellow. Mine was blue on one side with yellow lettering.
I remember
and then
them
the other one was yellow and it had blue lettering. And of course that was around the time when like we was watching DBZ and like Super Vegeta came out. So I used to wear that mug and feel like I was ready to beat niggas up on the street on the blacktop.
Hey,
I was out here. Look, I had that one and I had the Tommy Hilfiger one. Now it wasn't reversible, but it was blue. I ain't like it because you couldn't unzip it all the way.
Tommy Hilfiger.
See, that's how you know I wasn't a trendy person. I like the FUBU one because of functionality. I could unzip it. The Tommy one, I had to pull it off.
I kept mine after it got ripped.
Yep.
I
Lord, the puffer vest. We ain't gonna talk about the puffer vest. I never understood the purpose of the puffer vest. Why are you trying to make your titties warm and your arms is cold?
Bro, when those came back out, that with the button up, man, I'm telling you, when I say I was literally on my yay-ish. There's pictures right now that you can buy. Button up.
I'm afraid to look that up.
Fresh cut, line up. Got the sweater vest. I had the brown one and the black one. Man.
They are coming back. A lot of those things are unfortunate.
It's crazy because nowadays a lot more of the kids wear uniforms, even all the way up into high school.
They need
even in the places where you didn't used to. So kids don't get to dress up like that no more.
Yeah.
So they don't get to express themselves through how they dress no more.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was definitely a thing that helped define who we were growing up as adults. Was you got to wear what you wanted.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb. I thought
people pretty much wore their personality on their sleeves. Like you knew the goth kids.
Yeah.
You knew the pretty boys. You knew the jocks.
Yeah.
You knew the uppity chicks. Mm-hmm. You knew the down to earth chicks.
Yep.
You knew the cheerleaders. Like everybody had.
Remember
like
them
a
girls
style.
who used to always walk around with them throwback jerseys that was just a little too tight.
You talking about the little jersey skirt things?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
And Miley Cyrus had the nerve to try to wear that mug.
Man.
With some pancakes. But we ain't gonna talk about it. Anywho, yes. Speaking of the 20,000s, the freaking Band-Aid.
Hot air.
I never understood the Band-Aid. I ain't gonna lie.
Do the legends like myself.
Yes, the jersey dresses. The jersey dresses.
Man, and you know what? Yeah, we were still rocking jerseys too, man. I remember I had a Bulls jersey.
With the undershirt.
My little brother had a Celtics jersey.
With the undershirt.
We had football jerseys. You had basketball jerseys. Wasn't even the biggest man. See, man. Hey, our class reunion. We trying to get a class reunion together this year. Matter of fact, speaking of that. Listen.
You remember them button-up shirts that had like a lot of the Japanese characters on them?
Yeah.
Do you know I got in trouble for wearing that mug one time in school because they said it was showing, because you could see the dude's arms on it and his body was out and everything, like he was posing, and they were like, well, that's showing too much skin and something is exposed. I'm like, it's a shirtless dude. He ain't even shirtless. You just see his arms. Like, dog, it was weird.
I don't know what they was doing with stuff like that.
I cannot understand the tennis shoe heels from that time. No one wants to talk about the tennis shoe heels. I don't know.
There was a lot of weird type of things that were that man, listen. Do y'all not look back at the tall T days like what the hell were we thinking?
Yes.
Anytime I see it's a particular Soldier Boy meme.
Bro, you could put a belt around it and it would be addressed. It was black fashion. It was black fashion, but jeez.
Tall tees, bro. Anytime I see tall tees.
I don't want to talk about it.
I cringe like a mug.
Yeah.
But then I'm reminded of Yup in my white tee, and all of a sudden it's okay.
And you know what? All of a sudden I'm very happy that I did not truly get on Facebook until way later.
Bro, you should.
Which means that if you did get on MySpace? Yes.
Okay, you did make it to MySpace.
I made it to MySpace.
Bro. MySpace, man, let me tell you.
That's how I learned how to edit my photos.
As cool as Facebook is today, and as terrible as Facebook is today, I'm sorry.
Lord.
But when I really think about it, I really do miss, at the height of what MySpace was, it was just more entertaining.
Bro.
Like, let's be real for a second.
It was easier to market.
It was just more personable. Like, everything about it just made you enjoy it more. Like, even though it was volatile stuff on MySpace, people wasn't coming on MySpace to be the type of people that they be on Facebook.
Yes, the MySpace playlist on the page. Yes, because I used to have UGK on there.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Remember, you had to update that thing. If you was anybody, a lot of us got music like that. MySpace made it easy for us to get music.
Some of us put out our own music on them playlists.
Man.
I used to do that. Look. I'm about to show you.
Having like the little lineup and everything set up.
The public cannot see this, but you will be allowed to see this.
Going to all them different pages to get your layout.
Circa 2010, my last year of high school. With the hoodie.
I'm not even. Hey.
And that was my default face. That was my default face. I took a picture of that with my netbook.
Kara said, show it.
I don't want to because it makes me look so fat now. Like, all right. Y'all can't see it. Hold on. I'm gonna try and hold it up to the. Can y'all see that? That was my high school. That was my last year of high school.
Hey,
back when I still had a neck. But
anybody else got anything on their mind? Statements they want to make? Questions they gotta ask?
Oh man, now I'm gonna get now here come the judgments.
Oh, bro, you lucky. We only got 6 people in here. You ain't about to get nuclear roasted.
I'm not. Look, y'all remember the Dickie outfits, the shirt and pants combo? They was creased. You know what I'm talking about. Them Dickie pants, and then you had the shirt that went with it. Yeah, I had a couple of those.
I didn't have none of the little Dickie fits.
I had a couple of them. No, she said I still have one. Well, yeah.
I did have one of the Dickie jackets, the checkered Dickie jackets with the hood. I used to wear that mug reversible, even though it wasn't reversible.
Right.
My priest.
Jesus.
Hey,
it's okay. Everybody got a pass.
Hey,
it's cool.
Be who you are. I love
you.
Be
who you is.
That's you. That's you.
Right.
Man.
Shoot.
Look,
man. Look. I used to.
Hey, and man, that's what we was talking about. You know, when we talked about earlier about being yourself.
Flip phone selfies, the backgrounds with all that. Yes, identity crisis. Lord, let's fix it.
Man, remember wearing house shoes? Listen, I'll admit, I was one of them ones.
Oh no.
I wore house shoes to school, but I didn't do it as bad as others who always did that.
I would have never been.
Look, I had my Bears house shoes on, my Chicago Bears house shoes with my Chicago Bears muffs. Like I had a whole little, it coordinated, it made sense. I had my blue and orange. Like I wish somebody somewhere had pictures of those. I wish we took
the socks with the cotton ball on the back. Look. I wouldn't have been caught dead in those house shoes, not because I didn't want to wear them, but because that was never a consideration or an option in my house.
Bruh.
My grandparents would have looked at me like, why are you wearing house shoes to school?
Man, listen.
You don't wear those outside.
You used to sneak and do that, bruh. Because we wasn't just walking out like that. Man, listen.
I mean,
I'd be like, you know what? Since the girls can wear flip-flops, I'm like, why is these dudes wearing slides? This is ridiculous. And then I'm like, you know what? This is comfortable.
Look, another throwback pick. First year of college. You know.
You got your jeans with cuffs in them.
I hate you.
What are you doing, boy?
No, it was 2010. Leave me alone.
I'm about to get. No.
Hey, at least I was more minimalist. That's back when I started being more minimalist with chains, though, because they're smaller.
Okay.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna be more simple. But I always had something on my wrist. That's back when I still had my class ring. I have no idea where that mug is. No, that's way back in the bullet chain days. Because I used to wear a bullet chain. It wasn't for any particular reason other than the fact that I found it and it was cool. Kiara and my grandmother found a way to get rid of that mug. I don't know what happened to it. I thought I lost it. You know, do you not know your twin waited until later to tell me, oh yeah, me and Granny threw that out.
Bruh. They made an executive decision.
They did make an executive decision. I was like, because they was like, why you always got to wear that thing? I'm like, it's just different. I didn't have a reason. It was just that I literally found it on campus. I kid you not. I found it on campus. USI, don't sue me. But you know, look,
man. Hey y'all, who else in here with us? I see 6 people on here, damn it. Where y'all at?
I gotta stop looking at my old pictures because this is making me feel like I desperately need to do sit-ups.
But you notice what I did? I ain't even pull it up. I'm not. That'll be a Patreon exclusive.
Terrible.
Look,
that's all y'all get for free. Don't laugh at me.
Look, hey.
I know you remember that necklace. You know what, man? We ain't gonna talk about it.
Uh-oh. Deep-seated memories returning.
Right.
Pluck them and follow. Man. Look.
I used to look. Back in the days, the most thing I did cosmetically with my hair was when I grew my hair out. I used to get my hair straightened or at least blown out before I would get it braided.
Bruh.
Do you not know I fried my ends? Because I had a small
school.
Look, I had a small straightener, and I used to do that to make sure that my ends was always on point when I braided them.
If we and you wore it to school like that sometimes, right?
Hell no.
Okay,
I had that joint top.
Thank God.
No.
I thought you were saying that you wore it down.
No, you know why?
I thought you pulled a cat.
No.
I was gonna say if we wasn't friends, I would have roasted your ass.
You didn't have to. Look, you know what? You didn't have to. My granddaddy got me. My granddaddy cooking joy. It ain't even that. No, he got me bad one time. He got me bad one time. Usually I wouldn't keep it like that for longer than a day. Because usually I do it the day of. So that way I'll be ready, right?
Yeah.
Look, get my few hours in the chair done, I'm straight. No, one time it did take, it was a day, it was a refractory period, it was a weekend. And I'm sitting down, it was me, my aunt, and my grandmother. And Pawpaw decided to be funny. He walked over. He's like, you know, it's just so great that I get to have breakfast with my wife and my 2 daughters. I'm like, really, bro? Really? We doing this now?
Man.
That man gave me a complex about having my hair out, bro. About having my hair out when it's straightened. I used to keep it tied back at all times, bro.
You know what?
All times, G.
I just thought to myself.
So when it was straightened or when it was like in its natural state, it was tied back.
Now you got me looking back at old photos. Duh. Let me show y'all. I'm about to clue y'all in. Dude, if you were there, you know.
Hey, speaking of this, look, my folks tried to get me out of the long hair phase so bad. Like, the lady we knew, she was a friend of ours from church, did my hair, and she used to get me right every time. And she'd be like, and my grandma would be like, what does he owe you? If it was straight back, sometimes she'd be like, oh, well, he don't owe me nothing. No, you need to charge him. So she'd be like, all right, just slide me 20. I'm like, all right, cool. For the individuals, it was like 40 and 45. I was like, all right. That's why I learned to do twists on my own because I stopped wanting to pay. But they was like, oh, no. You ain't getting no freebies. You can't get no free Randy. You want to get you gonna suffer for it.
Bruh. Have I shown you this picture before?
I don't know. You have.
Listen,
that looks like it could be your little brother.
Bruh, look.
Hold on. Man, that right there illustrated exactly why I never shaved my beard except for once. Look at me. Oh, Jesus.
Hey,
Kiki
you know
said
what?
show it.
Look,
Kiki said show it.
Listen, look. Hey, don't be clowning me. I don't know if it's the angle. Look, I preface this by saying I think I got my hair cut by Jay that day. Hey, don't make fun of me, y'all. I don't feel like it.
It's too late.
Hold on.
It's too late.
Hold on.
To apologize. It's too late.
Hey, so this is one of them. I used to put slits in my eyebrows and stuff. I ain't butt naked, no facial hair. Look at that.
I couldn't do that. You know what? Fortunately, the iPod that actually contains the pictures of me where I have no facial hair in college has been stolen. So it's gone. That picture is gone forever.
I couldn't take pictures, y'all. I didn't know how to take pictures. I didn't like taking pictures.
I used to suck at taking pictures. I only learned to get good at taking pictures. Like, let's see. This is the literal. I'm gonna up the brightness because contrast ain't so great, and I'm black.
I'm gonna give y'all another one while Nick pulling.
No, she said, "Who is that?"
Bruh, hold on.
That's him.
Hold on. I got another one.
What is that?
Some of y'all have seen this before, but most people haven't seen this picture. I'm gonna show y'all like how the difference, and it's really gonna come into perspective when you view the fact that I got locks now. So like,
oh Jesus,
this is high school. This is high school right there. This was around the time where I had my cousin pierce my ears too. By the way, couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I was something special.
Let me see. I see.
I'm not saying.
Look, hold on.
Look at technical difficulties.
Oh Jesus. Hold on. Look, this is the first time that I ever got it's the smolder for me. The bathroom mirror picture with the digital camera. I never did the digital camera because I never had it. But I did with the phone cameras and I did with the netbook cameras. This one was the netbook camera. Look, this is the first time that I got my individual braids done.
Network.
Look. This is the first time. I still had the A shirt on because I literally had just got my hair done.
Man.
Look, freshly oiled, freshly straightened, everything. It was legit. No, it was the pose for me, the confidence. Look. I used to try to keep my stuff on point. I just used to never smile in pictures. No. I just used to never smile in pictures. Look, that's why the drapage was real though. Hey, I just fried the hell out of my hair, bro.
We want to keep this. Look, we want to keep this evenly balanced. How many photos have you shared?
About 4.
4. I'm gonna show another one then, just to be fair.
This is one that you get to see, they don't get to see. And because I wasn't even out like that.
This is netbook. This is netbook camera too.
My soul.
Bear with this netbook camera, and please.
No, where are they now? Edition. Bruh. Don't come at me. That man is dead.
Hey, look, y'all. My head look like a fucking light bulb. Okay.
Oh, I ain't pulling up the MySpace account.
This my head looks like a light bulb.
I got a fader in the light scan. No.
But you can see. I got a.
Oh God. Oh God.
Don't it look like a light bulb?
No, it looks like you and Keelan did a fusion dance. Oh, no, Lord. it looks like Keelan and Morgan did. Oh Jesus.
Oh Lord. Yikes. Well, hey.
I used to look. Oh, here's one that actually has the bullet chain. This is one that actually has the bullet chain.
I'm done taking y'all through.
This is the last one. This is the last one for me because I ain't about to get clowned. I had the sweater chain combo with the individuals. I'm telling you, ain't telling nothing.
Back then, I wore a rosary. Rosary.
Like everybody. Rosary. Yeah. Looking boy, 2010. Ah! Bruh, no.
Bruh, that was back when I was wearing nothing but V-necks.
Bruh, we ain't gonna talk about it. I was wearing
all
hoodies. I was wearing hoodies. I was like, you look like the captain of the anime. Wow, bro. No. I knew a nigga who was the captain of the anime club. Their hair was never that fresh. Their lineups was never that fresh. No, I ain't gonna show you the other candidates. I don't. Some of these I'm kind of embarrassed of. I ain't doing that. The only appealing thing about some of these pictures that I'm not gonna show is the fact that I could still fit a size 32. That's not the case anymore. Swag was unmatched. Look, I don't know about all that.
Back then, I was like 175, 180 during those time periods.
Bro, that was back when I was like 145.
I am not that these days.
I'm not that. I probably am above 180 now.
That's when I was the slim giant.
Look.
And I ain't really been nowhere near that since like 2017.
First time performing the aqua poses.
Man.
I used to just stand in
one place. With the hoodie halfway on.
Yep, the halfway on hoodie. I thought I was ready. No, she said Slim Jim.
As usual, black people still late. That's part of it, but you know what though? Some of it just came from just not from maintaining. Cause shoot,
nigga, I just didn't eat. I was alone. Right? Being alone is easier than not eat.
But that wasn't my reason. I just stopped going to the gym. And then I let BS get to me.
No. I'm talking about when we were skinny.
Oh, you talking about? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah. Relationships build weight.
You know what?
Before the birthing
Chill
hits. No.
No, not right now. I need to get back on my 2017, 2018 body.
Right.
Look, when I was going to the gym consistently. I done slipped, but that's okay, y'all.
I would actually be cool with 2010 because I was a good even out. And I could fit like normal size pants. I could do what I wanted. I will never bring back the chin strap. I tried it once.
Some of y'all only know the dark skin is the big version. There's another version too.
The thick with 2 C's version.
Bruh.
It pains me to say that some of these shirts that was like XLs to me fit perfectly now. I mean, it's just the truth.
Ha! Twin, where's Twin? Where the hell you at?
It is her fault, and I blame her for it regularly. Because I was like, oh yeah, I never get fat. I never really gain weight. Because at that time it was true. I would gain like a few pounds in a relationship and then lose it for whatever reason. So slim with abs is overrated anyway. Look.
Hey,
facts.
Salute to look. Keep the cannon on here. Salute to the big boys.
Look, I'm trying to aspire to be back at the state where people think that I'm buff because my arms is big, but I just got to get rid of the man titties. I'm starting small. I'm trying to get rid of the man titties in the gut.
I do understand though, because stature also plays into part of things too. Because to some people, like to me, I'm out of shape. But to a decent amount of people, they still view me like in a decent shape to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. And it's probably because the height kind of plays on that perception.
Distribution.
Yeah. I'm not where I want to be, so I'm out of shape according to me.
Yeah.
But other people might not see it exactly as that.
Right.
Because I've had people say, like, you ain't fat. I'm just like,
dog.
Shut up.
For real.
Get out my
face.
Nah, G. Move. Ooh. I'm just acceptably on the plus size. Okay.
Look, I want you to look at this and I want you to react visually, but don't say nothing.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to save both our lives. It's a throwback.
Why you even? Do you?
Because it was a tag picture. I'm back there on the Warrior.
Just now?
No.
Okay.
That's on my old profile. I don't even use this mug no more. It's the one that mom took so that way she could use her Cafe World stuff. And I'm like, we're gonna talk about it.
Hey y'all,
notifications that I made.
We on Black People Time, so y'all see we went over our 2-hour limit.
We wildin'.
Shout out to y'all for kicking it with us for 2 hours. That's a lot of time to be dealing with us.
That's freaking legendary. It's legendary.
But you know what though? It's about 9:30. I think we need to wrap.
Yeah, we need to wrap it. I'm having fun reminiscing and dreading some of the things that I decided to do with them old clothes that I should have never wore.
Y'all, this has been the Black in a Minute crew. I go by the DarksKing Poet.
And I go by Nero Angelo.
We have enjoyed this night with y'all. It's been fun. Like I said, we got a lot more stuff in store for y'all. Thank you for being faithful listeners, viewers. If you new,
we love
y'all. We got links in there.
We do.
We do love y'all. We're going to have links in the description. We're going to try to do a little bit of timestampage too.
Oh, look. Speaking of Slim Jim.
Bruh.
Circa 2010, baby.
This man is pulling out more photos from the archives.
Because I'll be forgetting I have them.
I don't have as many because I didn't like taking pictures. So
I didn't either, but this was like that middle ground where I was becoming an artist. And so I was like, okay, if I'm going to rap and stuff, I got to have like pictures so I can use them for album art. So I got to learn to take pictures. But in this one, it was just because I was like, okay, I actually look all right in this too little ass shirt. But so
yeah, and as long as I've been the DarksKing Poet, I was King Ugly longer. If you know, you know.
King Ugly. I'm so sick of you.
Everybody hate King Ugly. But anyway.
I'm so sick of you.
So yeah, that's why I didn't really take no pictures. But yeah. Anyway, let's get to
before this, you wouldn't catch me dead in pictures. It would be exceedingly hard.
But we will put links in the description of this video. We're gonna try to timestamp it. We're really just gonna see. Because I was always supposed to be in bed by this point. Because I gotta get up early in the morning. And I believe you do too.
I do.
So
not as early.
Yeah, but we've really enjoyed this. You guys, if you want to continue with any kind of conversations or anything with us, we'll probably create a thread in the Facebook group, which is called the Black in a Minute Podcast as well. And we'll go ahead and continue a thread, and we maybe can talk and do some stuff on there probably.
Yep.
I can't guarantee that it'll be for long, but we'll at least get the conversation thread going up. I don't know about any video chats or anything.
Yep. We'll get into it. Actually, speaking of such, if y'all want us to start doing certain Facebook lives, because we don't have to do just one live. I would prefer us to do one live here on YouTube. But if you want us to do a Facebook live, or you have something that you want one of us individually to talk about, we can do that.
Facts.
We are multifaceted.
We are here to serve you,
For sure.
the people, the little people. But all right, yes. See you later. See you later.
Peace.
We love you all.
Power.
Peace out. Yeah.